Hello, my friends, and welcome to the last after party of 2022. One thing you should know is that if you're jamming to our intro song every week, we always are too, or taking a little sneaky B-reel before the show starts. One of my favorite things about this show is watching everyone do a little bob in their own little corner on the screen before we begin. It is Liz, Marissa, and Sly, and Alexis is joining us a little later on when she can for the second half of the show. But we're kicking things off. We're having a little bit of a holiday party, a little bit of a little festive get together with all of you. And we got a very important note before the show started, and about how some of us are honoring this evening. I put on the Taylor Swift Christmas sweater, which does have the beautiful cats with antlers, which I feel is like alpine. Love to see it. So that's my festivities for this evening. Marissa, would you like to show off your festivities for the evening?
Yes. I have a Winnie the Pooh vintage Christmas sweater. Vintage to me because I got it secondhand on Instagram, and a matching Winnie the Pooh background.
I love it.
It's not Christmas without Winnie the Pooh.
Very true. Very true. Winnie the Pooh is a staple of Christmas in my household. Absolutely. Sly.
I am rocking the classic Coney Island Bucky's version.
Which is a Christmas sweater. It is a Christmas sweater. Absolutely.
As per usual.
Yeah.
And my background, you guessed it. It's your girls again.
But it's Christmassy this time. It's Adventy.
It's from season 1. It is their Santa Lucia episode because St. Lucia Day was this week. I did make St. Lucia rolls, and I do observe that day because of American Girl Doll. Thank you very much. But I have been observing rolls. St. Lucia rolls, delicious. I have been observing that since I was a wee bab, so fun times.
Love it. And you're not the only one celebrating with some lovely baked goods and tea towels this evening, as we got this incredible photo from JJ, who is also celebrating. And he wants everybody to know that this is not a cheese board that would be made if entertaining guests. But we are not entertaining guests. We are here to celebrate as a digital community, which means you can make whatever cheese board your heart desires. But I did have a chuckle when I noticed that you both had tea towels set like very delicately in the background of your photos. It's giving big Thirsty Thursday cohesive mind energy. I love it.
We love a hive mind.
Marissa, what happened to us? Where were our cheese boards for this evening?
We gotta go out of town, so
no cheese boards in this house. It is straight whatever crackers are left in the cupboard for me. You can't see them with the background, but I'm we're playing the cupboard game.
I had a lovely microwavable frozen meal earlier, so we're really on bare bones.
Love that. But not in our hearts as we look back on this incredible year that we've had at the after party. Let's start a little bit with what we've been enjoying this week. And I want to shout out actually Young Royals because they made an appearance on Jimmy Fallon this week. And that was a pretty big deal.
First U.S. TV appearance. Very exciting. We got Young Royals season 3 confirmed. It will be the final season, as we all predicted. Lisa had previously said she envisioned the story as a 3-act story, so we're getting the 3rd act. Very exciting. I just cannot wait to see them just happy and in love. It's gonna be great. Of course there will be the drama, the angst, blah, 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 but I'm so excited to see the conclusion of the story. It's gonna be beautiful. I am going to be emotionally devastated. It'll be great.
Do we have a date for when it's coming out?
Do not have a date. We just got the official confirmation that it was renewed.
Right on. Well, listen, a win is a win. A win is a win. Yeah. Love it. It was a big week for everyone having interviews on the internet, actors on actors, like through the roof this week. Like the conversations, the analysis, the memes, like the dialogue. It's too much. I'm so behind on all of it. So I'm not talking about it tonight. I don't have a cohesive thought other than the cover photo for Joe and Paul is a crime against me, and it's beautiful. But a big piece of news that came out this week, I didn't get to watch anything. I was enjoying airports and 4 a.m. wake-up calls, but I screamed when I saw the news that Mr. Henry Cavill, after the week he had been told he's not going to be Superman, and he's left, and Mr. Hemsworth is taking over The Witcher. He's got a new project. Does anybody know what was announced for Henry Cavill this week?
I do, because I saw your What We've Been Enjoying, and I went, the video game?
If you don't know, Superman himself is the biggest fan and expert on playing Warhammer, the game. If you don't know what Warhammer is, I can't help you. You got to go do some Googling yourself. It is an incredibly deep nerd game. You go into a game store, you get the figurines, you can paint them. It's like a whole thing. It's beautiful. It's art. It's camp.
I
And
love
Henry's the leader of
Liz
this
trying
brigade.
to describe video games. We need to make this a recurring segment
Mhm.
where Liz tries to Liz-splain video games to me. That was brilliant. I love that for
The
you.
point is, he brings it up constantly in his interviews, and interviewers have started asking him about Warhammer because he goes into these like beautiful rants, and he gets so excited when he gets 5 minutes with someone that knows what Warhammer is. And there's been times when interviewers have brought it up, and he's been like, "Oh my god, like you play?" And they've been like, "No, I was told to ask you that," and he's like devastated. But the news is he is going to star and executive produce a Warhammer 40,000 piece. And I think it's going to be a series. I don't think it's going to be a movie, but
It's a series, what I saw. Yeah.
it's a series. I am thrilled for him because there's nothing better than like passion project meets screen. He's got the executive producer role. He's got the starring role. It's not like just starring in a dream project. He's going to be able to inform this beginning to end. And I think after the devastating news of not going back to Superman and then The Witcher kind of unraveling the way it did, this is such a cool move for him. And I want to see it. Like I'm so excited for this. I think it's brilliant. And I love when actors get this kind of opportunity. So that's what I've been enjoying. Just that news specifically. That's all.
Love that for you.
Marissa, what have you been enjoying this week? Because it was a big week for you as well.
Yeah, it was a big week for me. On the total opposite side, Liz was working like 24/7. I was working 0/7. So I watched a lot of TV and movies and things. I watched the White Lotus finale, which has not left my brain.
I did enjoy the White Lotus finale. I did forget about that. Yeah.
Liz had some great tweets watching the White Lotus finale.
This
My
is the
favorite
one-
was just Portia, girl.
This is the show where Marissa tweeted that she's on a cliff or somebody's on a cliff.
Yes.
Yeah?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
I know
my
some
prediction.
things.
My prediction for the finale was someone was going to fall or be pushed off a cliff, which is not
Not totally
inaccurate.
wrong.
Not totally inaccurate. But Sly was like, "Why is Marissa on a cliff?" I'm like, not me. It's
That
a TV
is-
show.
Not true. I was making a funny where I said I was on the ledge, Marissa is on the cliff, and
Yep.
Liz is on a plane. And I asked Alexis what she was on, and she was at the end of her rope.
Mm. Mhm.
Mm.
I'm adding that to
We're
the
having
list
a
of
great
things
week.
that we almost rebranded the shows to this week. Thank you for that. That's something you'll hear later on in the show from me. But I want to just shout out Sylvie got tickets to Into the Woods.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell
And
yeah.
JJ did.
And JJ
Yes.
did. What a
We
great
love to
week for
see
After
it.
Party fam. This is great.
I hope my mom did because it's on my Christmas list. I was not responsible for those tickets. But I hope I will be enjoying that Christmas morning.
Hell yeah.
Speaking of enjoying,
I'm literally writing down that line for my bit later tonight about rebranding the show. So sorry, it's now officially captured in the show doc. Please continue.
Okay.
You also enjoyed another Broadway thing.
Oh, we can go there. Let's go there. Last night I watched the Beauty and the Beast 30th anniversary special, and it was perfect. It was gorgeous. I loved it from beginning to end. The only thing that would have made it better if it had included If I Can't Love Her instead of Evermore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I know that Evermore had its moment on TikTok. I am like happy that some aspect of the live action Beauty and the Beast is getting some love. But If I Can't Love Her is just a better song.
It's a beautiful
better song.
It's a beautiful song.
We are the If I Can't Love Her defense squad, as I branded in your TikTok comments.
Absolutely.
I fucking adore that song. And I was telling Marissa before the show, the biggest disappointment of the live action movie was that we didn't even get like a bonus track Dan Stevens rendition of If I Can't Love Her. Like, I will take that to my grave as one of like the saddest moments.
Yeah. If anyone is unfamiliar with the Beauty and the Beast musical, I highly encourage you to listen to the soundtrack, the album, the cast album. Say it right, Marissa.
Beautiful.
The cast album. The music is gorgeous. Gorgeous. And it adds so much to the story.
I didn't have time to watch the entire special, but I've been like catching up on TikTok and in the clips. And I will say, from what I have seen, with Beauty and the Beast, have traditionally struggled to connect with Beast. Like, I don't know why. It's a character that doesn't always work for me. But the way that Josh Groban did Beast, I was like, okay.
It was a slay.
I see Beast. I also really just appreciated the way that they did the costuming for Beast. It was very beautiful.
Loved it.
It was beautiful. All the costuming was beautiful. But that was my specific shout out was like, I have always loved Belle. I've always loved the ensemble, but Beast sometimes for me, it doesn't always work.
Mm-hmm.
And Marissa, would you like to speak to how your allegiance was to Gaston, this performance?
I will never claim him. I'm not on his team. I'm not on his side. I will never say a word in his favor. However, I am on Joshua Henry's team, and I am his defender, and I will say words in his favor. Best performance in the show. Just gotta say, 2 opt-ups. There were 2 opt-ups in Gaston in the title track.
Iconic.
So good. So, yes, as Sylvan said, he ate that roll up.
He ate it up. Yum, yum, yum. One thing that I was disappointed by, in the poster, they had Belle in like the pantsuit thing.
You gotta watch it all the way through.
Did they do the pantsuit in the show?
You gotta watch it all the way through.
Okay, watch it the whole way through. I saw the clip, I was like, she's in the ball gown, but I wanted that pantsuit, so I'll revoke that comment and finish.
You gotta finish.
Thing.
You gotta watch all the way
I'll
through.
watch the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was a brilliant casting choice, though.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Wow. Yeah.
But you enjoyed a lot of things this week. Your list is very long, so continue.
Okay, I also watched both parts of the Harry and Meghan documentary. I really enjoyed that. I will not be offering any critical thoughts about it, even though I have them. I also rewatched Heartstopper because
love.
Why wouldn't I? And I finally watched Dairy Girl season 3, and it broke me. It really, really got me. I loved it. That show is so simple and like quietly so smart. It's just like, I'm so glad we finally got season 3 in the US. Greatly enjoyed.
Love.
I think that was all it. Yes, that's all I wrote down.
That's all you wrote down. You enjoyed a lot this week. I'm pleased for you.
Thank you. I had a lot of free time.
We're not going to ask you if you enjoyed having the free time, but I am glad you got to enjoy things with the said time that you had. How's that sound?
Thank you. Yes.
You're welcome. Sly, what did you enjoy this week?
I also had a lot of free time. I did not use it productively at all. I finished my final, I submitted it, and I went into catatonic state for like 3 days straight where I didn't do much other than
Sounds
reading
about
some
right.
fan fiction. I did, however, impulse make a NetGalley account and decide to rebrand my entire personality once again. We'll see if I actually go through it with it this time. But I did get a couple cool things that I'm going to start working my way through, so you might see more about those later. I watched season 1, episode 1 of Timeless. I'm going to try to work my way through that entire show so that I can then enjoy last week's after party in its entirety. Will be very exciting. I will say, however, I well established. I only know Timeless via fan fiction, and I may or may not have forgotten certain characters' live status and came to the realization that one of my favorite ships in the entire show is 2 dead women. So that's something.
Very sad. That's hard. That you did not enjoy that this week.
Yeah.
That was a striking realization. I remembered one of them. I did not remember both of them being canonically. So that was something. I also reaffirmed my infatuation with Dana Boyd, who, if you have not been following along on my return to academia and all that's been going on in that, my final research paper for the class I was taking this term, legitimately every single article I pulled to try to work on that said paper quoted Dana Boyd, and so on the brain a lot all term.
Love a niche
and
field.
then I finished that paper and kept thinking about her and started to do a deep dive on everything she's ever written, and will be working my way through all of her research. Man, I just have a big fat ol' academic crush on her. Her What Is in a Name blog post ramble, delicious, talking about like capitalization and names and pronouns and how English uses them versus other. It's a great read. Go read it. Go read everything she's ever done. Because that's what I'm going to be spending the next couple of my weeks doing.
We love a hyperfixation for the holidays. There's nothing better.
Yeah.
Currently, my holidays are marked by whatever the hyperfixation of the season was. Like Evermore Christmas, unmatched. Evermore Christmas is unmatched.
Hyperfixating on niche researchers in a specific field who are definitely very real people who I may or may not have already tweeted at once and have had to stop myself from constantly tweeting at. It's fine.
But that means that you don't have like 100 years worth of work to go through. Like, it's a very achievable goal.
Yeah.
Her CV is 28 pages long.
Well,
and I think you could read that. I think you could get through it.
Well, you'll give us an update when we come back from a little brief holiday hiatus. So I'm very excited to hear how far you get into that. We'll check back next what you're enjoying segment. We're all excited for updates. And in the meantime, you can follow Sly on Twitter at SlyCloneMC, where I'm sure you'll provide updates.
Oh, yeah.
Great. We've got a fun game lined up to start the show with. We're pushing rants to the end of the show this evening. And we are kicking things off with, a few weeks ago, I did a fun little bit with our friends over at iHeartRadio. Our friends invited me back to come on to the News Talk 1010 show. And we played a game called The Draft, where myself and my friend, producer Ben, drafted our top Christmas movies live on the radio. And it's just like a real life draft works. You get your first round draft pick, and the next person goes, and the next person goes. You can't draft a movie that's already been picked. And after we did the segment, Sly and Marissa too did. And we all had the same thought of like, we gotta do this on the show because I was playing it real safe with some of my choices, and there's some deep.
Liz was playing to win. She wasn't playing with her heart.
I was playing to win on that public radio, but I got some deep cut Christmas picks that I want to draft appropriately. So Sly was a genius, brought the game back. Would you like to explain the rules of how this will work this evening?
All right, so we all curated a list of our top Christmas movies. We're going to draft a definitive 5. Like Liz mentioned, you can only, once a movie is drafted, it is off the board. Nobody else can pick it. And because I'm in charge and I'm selfish, we're doing a snake draft order, which means whoever starts will go that person, next person until we're all the way through the line. And then whoever the last person is becomes number 1 for round 2. And we'll go backwards throughout the draft.
That way everyone gets equal opportunity to draft. And that person in the middle is so goddamn lucky. So.
And now, because Liz and Marissa have a touch of competitiveness, in order to promote fairness, we are going to spin the wheel to determine our draft order.
All right. And the first spot of our order for this evening is
Oh, hell yeah.
All right, Sly, you got that first place slot.
Okay, number 2.
Number 2. Oh, is it me? Is it me? Is it me? Is it me? Oh, Marissa, I get the second place spot.
So Marissa will be last in the first round, but first in the even rounds.
That's exactly how everyone else wanted it to go.
Is it?
I do enjoy the middle spot because it means consistency across the board. But there is advantage to being number 3 when it comes to the final round, I think. So
let's do it.
All right. Sly, we need Alexis to give us the drum roll, but I'll sacrifice
Here's
my knee.
The thing. I did acquire a list of 10 movies. I did not rank these. So now I have to decide what my number 1 pick is going to be. I think I'm going to go with the one pick that I think has a chance of somebody else taking it. And so I'm going to pick a number 1. I am going... Ooh, I was going to copy paste and then realized I didn't have the thing open. I'm going How the Grinch Stole Christmas, 1966. Classic. That is the animated movie for my pick number 1.
It's a classic.
One of my hyperfixations as a kid. There was at least 1 year, I think a couple years, where I watched it from like November to March. So, I spent a good chunk of time with this. I did do a dance recital 1 year that was How the Grinch Stole Christmas themed.
That's so fun. What the heck? I would much prefer to see How the Grinch Stole Christmas as a ballet than the Nutcracker some years. The Nutcracker's great. I've just seen it so many times, but especially the
animated one you could totally do because the whole thing is narrated.
What we did was we did some like narrated bits for some shows, and for some recitals we just gave every class a theme because it was a full range studio. There wasn't a specific genre, and so we would just like kind of loosely base them on the like plot points of whatever the theme was. And I think that year was a little looser, but the final song was the Whoville song for the big finale dance number with everybody from the studio. It was very fun.
That's cute.
Love. That's so good. All right. I, in a surprise twist to no one, am going for pure chaos this evening when it comes to my list. I'm going to be all over the board. I'm doing deep cuts. I'm doing childhood deep cuts. I'm doing personal favorites. I'm doing cult classic. I'm doing non-Christmas movies. And I'm going to take Sylvan's drum roll. I got to take Greta Gerwig's Little Women in my number 1 slot because this is one that I was going to say on the radio if Die Hard had been picked. But producer Ben knew I had an ace to steal, and he saved Die Hard for his last pick. So I didn't get a chance to steal it live on the radio. I'm stealing it right now. Little Women is a Christmas movie, Greta Gerwig slays. Timothy Chalamet slays.
Slays.
Florence Pugh deserves the
Slays.
Oscar. Slays. It's amazing that so many people are in that movie that, like, you say names like Meryl Streep and Laura Dern and Saoirse Ronan and Emma Watson, and like it's like you have to keep going. Like,
Yeah. It's
incredible.
too many. It's too many.
It's will a movie slay so hard? The answer is yes. Barbie next year. And who directed that movie?
Greta Gerwig.
I see a common thread. Is Barbie going to be a Christmas movie? Perhaps.
There are so many Christmas Barbies. We can claim it.
If we don't get a Christmas Barbie in that movie, I don't know what I'm going to do, because it's like one of the most iconic pieces of Barbie culture, you know?
Oh, yeah. I used to get the Christmas Barbie every year.
Mm-hmm.
I had the full Nutcracker set. I am so excited for the Barbie movie.
Mm-hmm.
But now I have to talk about my first pick. I had this all planned out, like I was going to be serious, but now I want to be chaotic.
You also get 2 picks in a row. So you get 2 choices safe back to back.
Very, very true. Okay. I'm going with my heart and
What's your
with my
first
chaos
pick?
first.
Mm-hmm.
My first pick is Mickey Sing-Along Songs 12 Days of Christmas.
Damn it! That's my life!
When you were like teasing pre-show, you were like, I don't think we should go next to each other because we're gonna have the same answer. And I was like, no, I don't think so. Because it was pretty low on my list. But then I started thinking about it, I was like,
I wanted that sing-along song.
gotta take that one. See,
Classic.
you gave your hand. You showed your hand.
Of course I showed my hand. I'm not a poker player. I'm a live streamer. That's what we do. We show our cards to the internet and let them judge. God damn it. So
Beautiful. The first steal of the night. How are we
familiar are
feeling?
you with this sing-along song? 'Cause
Not at all.
I wonder if it's on YouTube, because a lot of
It
sing-alongs-
absolutely is.
Let's just get a link for everyone so they can experience the joy of this.
It is.
Sing
I have
along
not,
song.
honestly, I only watch them on YouTube, so I have not confirmed if they are available to be streamed legally anywhere. I don't know if they're on Disney Plus, but they're definitely on YouTube.
Love
the thumbnail is the VCR cover, and it just, I looked at it and my brain was like, that's like years of memories in that cover. I'm putting it in the chat for everybody. Please enjoy at your leisure. Sly, you as well.
Love.
Make it in fact, just do a whole sing-along song binge this holiday season.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone remembers, for Halloween I did play some sing-along songs in my preparation, and it was great fun. And my partner was like, how do you know all the words? And I was like, deep in there, my
dancing Mickey Mouse with the lyrics at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
Of course.
All right, and everyone does get to vote at the end of the game who made the best list, so we will remind you of our list once we go through the whole game. Marissa, start us off, round 2.
Round 2.
Okay, number 2, The Polar Express. It's a classic. Like, I honestly forgot about it for a second. I Googled Christmas movies, and it came up, and I was like, how did I forget about that? Like, every
Can
year.
I out myself on air real quick?
Never seen it?
Okay, I loved the book. Absolutely adored the book. My mom could probably recite it verbatim for how often she read it to me as a child. I was a wee bab when this movie came out. We went to see it in theaters, and I was so traumatized we had to walk out.
Yes. It is not.
I have not seen the end.
It is not gentle.
Yeah.
And it does
I did not do well.
Years go on. It definitely gets more concerning. The more advancements in computer generated imagery we have, and you continue to watch it. Yeah. But it's in my heart. It's in my heart.
Yeah, it was the man on top of the train.
Yep.
That got me.
Yeah.
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 Anyways,
No.
That's valid. That's
Yeah.
valid. Some of these kids' movies pop off like way too hard.
Yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
it's not all singing and dancing about hot chocolate,
T.
even though that is a great song. Okay. Wait,
All
whose
right.
turn is it
right,
next? Liz?
pick
I'm
two.
feeling real comfortable because I get to go for what I think is the most superior Christmas movie of the modern era. I never shut up about this movie during the holiday season. I want to watch it every day. It's funny every single time. It has so much heart. And in fact, I compared myself to the elves in this movie multiple times this week. And if you're familiar with the movie, that should tell you a lot about the week I had. I am picking Arthur Christmas in my number 2 spot. If you're not familiar with this movie, get your butt to Netflix after the show. It's a required viewing to be in my life. I force everyone to watch this movie like the holiday spirit person I am. Love Arthur Christmas. So good. And Ali Plum agrees with me and put it number 3 in his top Christmas movies article. So it's got the stamp of approval from Ali Plum.
Yeah.
Don't argue with me about it. Don't argue with Ali about it. You can't. Very passionate about Arthur Christmas.
Wow, I see a lot of chatter in the chat today. The people have been traumatized by the Polar Express. I'm so sorry.
You know what?
Sorry to bring that back for you.
Interesting to see how communities form on the internet and what they share. A ragtag group on the internet with shared Christmas movie trauma has gathered weekly for months to talk about media. And that's how I'll describe this community moving forward.
Yeah. How would you describe your audience? People traumatized by the Polar Express.
Oh gosh, we should
Adding
make
that to
an
my
audience
list.
breakdown analysis of all of the things we've mentioned that were shared communal touchstones within our audience. I would love to see that. If we did like an audience analysis based on all of the things we've called out on the show alone, it would be the most absurd breakdown we've ever seen.
It would also just fully be a stealth read because it's just different
a bunch
versions
of
of
theater
us.
kids.
Yeah.
Not really like into the woods and don't like the Polar Express and have varying degrees of food allergies. That's this show. We gotta get the rapid fire pace going. Sly, what's your number 2 pick?
So my number 2 pick, I'm going to go with the 1978, another classic, Star Wars Holiday Special. It has Life Day. It has Lumpy.
Yeah.
It's like, what more could you ask for? It's great.
Yep. No arguments from me.
Is it finally my turn again?
No, it is my turn again.
Okay, I don't do.
Hold your horses.
I didn't go. I just asked.
Are we competitive on this show? Add that to the audience.
This is the round 3 sound effect. So for my pick in the 3rd round, I am going with Bridget Jones' Diary. Did you have this on your list?
Yes, I did.
What can I say? It's Jane Austen. Like, did you expect anything else from me?
No. It's perfect answer. Great answer.
Updated the ticker at the bottom of the screen to be lists by person to make it easier to remember who has claimed which movie.
Okay.
Also in the show doc, my love.
No, but for everybody watching.
Oh, okay.
Because they have to vote at the end to say who had the best draft. Why Bridget Jones' Diary?
I don't know. I was looking up a list of obscure Christmas movies and it popped up on one. And like, have I seen this movie? No. Have I listened to a podcast summary of this movie from Pod and Prejudice? Yes, absolutely. I have.
It's not
And it's
fair.
Jane Austen. Like, of course I'm going to put it on my list. Duh.
It's not fair that you
not
have the
valid.
authority to say that when you haven't even watched the movie.
There's a
It's really
couple
not
on
fair.
this list I haven't watched. It's fine. Moving on. Round 3. Liz.
Okay, I think I'm going to upset some people with this pick, so I want everyone to remember how great of a friend I am half of the year. Ready for my round 3 pick?
Okay.
This is for Danielle. I am stealing the 2001 hit, should have won an Oscar, Barbie and the Nutcracker.
Yes!
A staple of the holiday season.
The
Slays.
best Nutcracker there has ever been.
It slays.
Yeah.
And you want to know my hot take about this movie? My hot take about this movie is that you could not make it again because CGI has gotten too good. Animation's gotten too good. You need that 2001 grime to make it as special as it is.
Not only does it look like computer-generated ballet, it looks like computer-generated ballet from Barbie dolls. Like,
Correct.
it still has the Barbie doll armature.
Correct. They move too much like humans now.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am very pleased to finally be. I should have drafted Barbie on live international radio. I didn't. I apologize to all of you. I apologize to Danielle, who told me very much so after the fact that not talking about Barbie was a mistake. And I hope that this does make up for it this evening.
Yeah.
And I see the chat is excited. Yeah, I'm glad we are all in agreement about this movie being, it should have won Best Picture. Really, I don't know what won Best Picture in 2001. Let's see. 2001. It's probably going to be something really good.
Marissa.
Gladiator.
Finally my turn.
Has anyone seen Gladiator?
Yes.
Oh, hold on.
Of course, I've never seen Gladiator.
Hold on. We got to go for 2002 because that's A Beautiful Mind. Oh, okay. Okay. Well,
those are not the important movies right now.
No.
Christmas movies.
The important movie
right now
is Marissa's.
The important movie is you are messing things up for me.
That's a very grinchy voice. I respect it.
I'll speak from the heart. Love Actually.
Beautiful. I just watched
that.
I will say, on the note of sounding like a Grinch, I did not mention when I drafted How the Grinch Stole Christmas, when I did the characters that are just like me slideshow TikTok video. One of them was the Grinch. He either feels too little or too much. Relatable king.
Yep.
Anyways, talk about Love Actually, Marissa.
I watch it every year. I started watching it, I don't know, sometime in high school. And like Bridget Jones' Diary feels very Christmassy to me, but also feels like an any time of year movie because it doesn't just take place at Christmas. The Holiday, I don't have a ton of emotional investment yet. I've only seen it like once, I think. But Love Actually, I don't know. It's Love Actually is all around. That's the thesis of the film. And look, are any of the couples good? No. Does Emma Thompson give a career-defining performance? Yes. Like, what do you need? It's got all your British faves. And if you turn off your brain, it's really good.
Alan Rickman, an asshole in that film. Thomas Brody Sangster, adorable in that film.
Running through an airport.
Sylvan, we will not come for you for not having seen Love Actually. I don't think I've seen Love Actually either, but again, I have listened to a podcast recap of Love Actually. I'm pretty sure it was an episode of But Make It Scary.
Oh. Yeah.
That
was a very easy movie to turn into a horror movie.
Marissa, you
Round
get
4.
to go again.
I get to go again?
You do
Yeah.
get to go again.
My God.
The pressure.
Okay. I'm gonna do my family proud, and I'm gonna say White Christmas,
Ah,
which is
yeah.
great choice.
we watch it every Christmas Eve. My parents used to, well, they still watch it every Christmas Eve while they're wrapping presents. And now it has become tradition that all of us watch it every Christmas Eve, but in separate rooms while we're all wrapping each other's presents.
Love.
It's so wholesome. What the fuck?
Thank
I
you.
love
We're very
that.
cute.
I love that.
Adorable.
All
All right, Liz, round
I'm
4.
struggling with my next pick because I realized I only got 2 slots left and I've got endless amounts of options. Someone trying to go for the most chaotic list. I feel like it is important for the representation of my character on this show to make sure that we voice the importance of
I'm so scared.
A Christmas Prince.
Oh.
Which
Yeah.
stopped the internet in its tracks when it came out. And I would say A Christmas Prince 2 is also a spectacular film. But it's just like Princess Diaries. You got the first one is where it was born. You got to respect the first movie, even if the second movie is better. So for the purposes of respecting where it started, I am going to take A Christmas Prince, put it on my list. And I do feel good about that. I would also like to encourage you, if you didn't listen to my segment on iHeartRadio, very different list than the one I
Very
picked
different.
this evening.
You were playing to win.
I was playing to win.
And now
Yeah.
you're playing with your heart.
Well,
True.
I think Liz is also playing to win, but we have very different standards of winning on this show. And we love containing multitudes. This is where I get to commandeer the show because I'm the last 2 picks. So I get to round out my list right here and right now. Listen, we gotta have some Die Hard representation on this list. I am not picking Die Hard. I am
there it
picking
is.
my family's version of Die Hard. The movie that we call a Christmas movie. That's a little bit of a stretch. It is Lethal Weapon. We do rewatch this movie every Christmas.
Wow.
That is a deep cut. Wow. That tells me a lot about you. That's incredible. I'm so impressed.
I could not let my list go without Lethal Weapon appearing on it somewhere within here. It's when everybody's like, "Oh, is Die Hard a Christmas movie or not?" Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, y'all, Lethal Weapon is the most obvious answer here for an action Christmas movie. I don't know what y'all are talking about. But anyways, that's my number 4 pick. And to round out my list, number 5, I'm going with another movie.
Why don't you read your list aloud and then give people a recap of how far you've come on this show.
To recap my list, we've got How the Grinch Stole Christmas at number 1. In the number 2 spot, Star Wars Holiday Special, the 1978 version, not the new one. Also, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, 1966, not the new one. Do you see a trend here? Number 3 slot, Bridget Jones' Diary. Sorry, Marissa.
Fine.
Number 4, Lethal Weapon. And with my final pick in the Rapid Fire Christmas movie draft, I will be selecting another movie I have not seen, but I do know very well because I have read some really great AUs inspired by this movie. It is the 1995 classic While You Were Sleeping.
Wow. You've really created a list this evening.
Wow.
You've really
I was playing to win.
Wow. Would you like to expand on that for us?
Again, I was going through the list of obscure Christmas time movies, and I saw While You Were Sleeping, and I went, I've heard that's a really not great movie, or that it doesn't hold up. But you know what I have done is read multiple very good AUs on the premise of this movie. JJ, I have not seen anything. This should not be a surprise. If it's something that you're like, everybody should have seen or watched this movie or TV show, I probably haven't seen it.
Wow. A round of tacos in the chat for Sly's list. A round of tacos in the chat for Sly's list.
I'm very proud of it, and I can't wait for once we all finish out our picks and we can mention our honorable mentions.
I have many.
I have some great ones.
Yes.
I was actually going to transition by saying my honorable mentions. Maybe I'll just say one.
Save them.
Well, I'll say instead there was a rule that we forgot to say before the show started, which is I am not to draft any movies I previously drafted on the radio, which took a couple out of contention for me that I would normally pick. And then Marissa came in and stole my original number one Disney pick. And I have a secondary Disney pick that I would like to bring up because I feel like I've covered. No, I don't think I'm taking yours because there's.
Well, I don't know. We'll find out.
We'll see.
God, I thought you were gonna go Winnie the Pooh for your final Christmas movie. I'm not going Winnie the Pooh. I'm going 1999. A little V8. Is this really what you were gonna pick? I'm gonna
say it first. Say it first.
I don't know if I want to now. I can pivot, but no. Okay, I've already started down this road. I was going to take Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas. I'm shocked.
I have other answers.
Shocked.
It's fine. I have other answers.
I thought you were gonna go with Winnie the Pooh. So I was like, oh, I'm safe. She's gonna obviously all the Winnie the Pooh happening.
I was being facetious when I said it's not Christmas without Winnie the Pooh. I just have this sweater. I don't care about Winnie the Pooh at Christmas.
Well, I was really reading literally into what you showed up with this evening.
That's not true. My first Christmas ornament is Winnie the Pooh. I was very obsessed with Winnie the Pooh as a tiny little baby.
I'm shocked you didn't go with any of the Winnie the Pooh.
I'm not attached to the videos as much as just like the vibes.
That's fair. So now we have to talk about this movie because my entire life, the only people in my life that have watched this goddamn movie has been my immediate family. So nobody ever knows the references we're making when we're talking about like, it's Christmas! And the pancakes and the tray hits Donald on the head. And you've got the harmonica and the watch. And then they give each other the package for the harmonica and the locket for the chain.
This was where I like learned the gift of the Magi. Like when I like heard the actual story of the gift of the Magi, I was like, that's Mickey and Minnie's story. What are you talking about?
Literally same. This Christmas movie is so good. It is so good. And every holiday, my entire life, every single holiday, not just Christmas, every holiday, my sister and I go, isn't this lovely? All of us gathered for a wonderful meal. I think this is my favorite part of, and then we say whatever the holiday is, but in the movie it's Christmas.
Iconic.
And then you take the tray off the thing and you go, ooh, ham, even if it's not ham. Every, 5 times a year that's said in our kitchen. It is beloved, truly. And you can watch it on Disney+.
You absolutely can. I'm so glad we got to live that moment.
I'll invite you over for any holiday of your choice and you'll hear us do it. It's great.
Amazing.
Easter, birthdays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, St. Patrick's. Anytime we have a meal that has a tray, we do the whole thing. It's great. Wow.
Right. Final pick of the night.
Well, I have an answer, and I feel as though no one will know what I'm talking about, but it means a lot to me.
Okay.
So my final pick is the 2000 television special from the public broadcasting
Station.
station.
Is it service?
Yeah,
Public
yeah.
Broadcasting
From
Service?
PBS,
Yep.
Arthur's Perfect Christmas.
Yes!
Thank you!
Yeah! Oh, beautiful.
Arthur's Perfect Christmas is so good. It has some of the best Christmas parody songs. DW's Christmas Carol parodies are
Yep.
iconic.
Yep.
It's got equal holiday representation. It's got Kwanzaa, it's got Hanukkah,
Yep.
it's got different little subsections of Christmas celebrations. It's so good. My brother and I are still obsessed with it. We still play the like soundtrack in our rotation of like Christmas Carol albums.
Oh, this is so true. The Francine section.
Yeah. It's so good. And I wish for you and all of the children in your life an equal opportunity Arthur's Perfect Christmas, because it is excellent entertainment and educational television.
You must have lost it when I said Arthur Christmas and not Arthur's Perfect Christmas. You must have been holding your breath.
No, see, the funny thing is, in my family, Arthur's Perfect Christmas is just called Arthur Christmas. So, like, whenever anyone is talking about the Netflix movie Arthur Christmas, my mom thinks that they're talking about the Arthur's Perfect Christmas, and
beautiful.
They are not. And she's like,
They're
"Oh, my
not.
kids love that." And no, that's not what we're talking about. We're not an Arthur Christmas household. We're an Arthur's Perfect Christmas.
Well, you
household.
could be if you wanted to be.
Could be. We like our old reliables.
Listen, Arthur Christmas, the other one can be a new old reliable because it is that good.
I trust you.
All right.
Sylvan's picks, I love. Hold on. Just let's acknowledge these for a minute.
Oh,
yeah. Christmas Carol. Classic. Rankin.
I didn't even consider the claymations. Wow.
Yep. Classic. Classic. Classic.
A Year Without a Santa Claus?
Mm-hmm.
Don't even get me started.
So true.
Wow.
Yep. So let's talk about some honorable mentions while everyone watching decides which list is the list that they agree with on screen. Sly, give us some of those honorable mentions.
All right. I did bring 10 picks and none of my picks got stolen. So I have 5 honorable mentions. Start off strong. Noelle 2019. Did I only watch that because of Shirley Mansfield? Yes, absolutely. She was the only reason I watched it. She was great in it. We love her. Love that rep. Second is Gremlins 1984. I worked at a pool that we claimed was haunted by gremlins. It's the only reason why I know what that movie is.
Beautiful.
It's great. Beautiful. I did convince Liz to pick it on
That's true.
air. So it got some representation there. I was fine with it not making my list. Now we get into some of my more absurd picks at the bottom here. Sleepy Hollow 1999. I haven't seen it, but some of my very good friends live in the town Sleepy Hollow.
Oh,
so
wow.
I put them on my list.
Cool. Yeah.
Elf, I have seen. I hate this movie, but I do remember very vividly watching it with my sister, and my sister loves this movie, and I love my sister. Therefore, it was on my list as a backup, just in case. And my final pick was Olive the Other Reindeer, the 1999 animated movie. I don't remember this being a movie, but I do vividly remember the book. And I liked the book, so I assume the movie must be good. And those were my honorable mentions.
Nice.
Marissa, do you have honorable mentions?
I do. 2 of mine were stolen. I had a list of 12, but 2 of mine were stolen. Maybe 2, more than 2 of mine were stolen. Sly already said Noelle. The Santa Claus is also a standard in my family. The full Santa Claus trilogy is standard in my family. No, I have not watched the series. I don't really want to. But specifically the Santa Claus 3, The Escape Clause, featuring everyone's favorite Martin Short. is a
I need
gift
you
to
to know
cinema.
that movie bombed on Rotten Tomatoes.
I don't care.
In our household, it's up there.
We have one family, Liz. This is why we're married.
No, that is not why. It's very not. No, we have
No,
very
just
separate
like our
families.
families get along. No, I'm not saying that
We have cohesive.
Yes, we're a
vibes
blended family. We blend very
because
well.
of our marriage.
Yes.
Yes, let's just clarify that for the air. We have never known each other in real life. I am not Italian.
No. Nope.
You are
Definitely
not a part
You are
of the
correct.
Italian mob.
Not that I'm
Neither
aware of.
am I.
Marissa, I will agree with
So
you.
you
though.
say.
I love knowing how connected our childhoods were, and that's
Yeah.
why we make so many of the same references.
I mean, I was also a CBC Kids kid. We've been over this too. Okay,
Yep.
I have what, 2, 3 more? It gets more unhinged as we go along.
Let's hear it.
Love.
Miracle on 34th Street, specifically the Mara
Beautiful.
Wilson 1990 whatever. Love that, but it really hurts my heart. It like makes me feel really big feelings in a way that I don't want to watch all the time. But that's a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tick Tick Boom doesn't really feel like a Christmas movie to me. It feels like an in-between Christmas and New Year's movie to me. So it's on my list and I wanted to claim it if it was going to be stolen from someone else. I just wanted to like claim dominance on it. And then finally, we have the definitive Kristen Stewart Christmas movie. You might think it's Happiest Season. It's not. It's Spencer. Because that movie takes place at Christmas.
I didn't even think of Spencer. That's
I saw it on the underrated Christmas movies list.
wow.
I'm very excited it got a mention.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, please watch Happiest Season. It's great. It's very cute. It has the wrong ending. So the definitive Kristen Stewart queer Christmas movie is Spencer.
I love it. I think this is a very fair evaluation of the list we've made.
We all got separate awards. I love that for us.
We love a fair. We love everyone gets a trophy. I didn't actually write a list. I just had it here. And it kind of was just developing as we went, as I usually do when we play games like this.
Chaos.
So let me tell you the other ideas that came into my brain while we played, including one that I'm actually severely regretting not using. But I'll save that one for last. Coming in, I thought for sure I was going to claim Harry Potter because I think Harry Potter is a Christmas movie and binging
100%.
Harry Potter. Yeah. But then I went the other way. I did like Little Women, like, it's fine. So Harry Potter was on the list for me. Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas, we go like back to that, like that's a classic. But another classic I haven't watched in obviously a very long time, but the VCR is burned into my brain, Barney's Night Before Christmas from 1999.
Yes,
a classic. And it's like the deep blue tones. Oh yeah, so good. So good. I'm sure we still have that like VCR kicking around somewhere. And this is the one that like I am kicking myself I didn't put onto the formal list, which is You're Invited to Mary-Kate and Ashley's Christmas Party.
Oh.
And I think their song, There's Too Much to Do, burned into my skull and decided that was going to be the tone of my entire life. Because to this day, when I am overwhelmed, I go, there's too much to do, which is like the chorus of the song. It's just like, da, 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 and yeah, I sing it all the time. So yeah, Mary-Kate and Ashley. They also have The Case of the Christmas Caper, which is also fantastic from 1995. But specifically the Christmas Party, You're Invited special. Yes, and I also thought of a Princess Switch, but then I didn't want to do a Christmas Prince and a Christmas Switch. I also thought of using some Hallmark movies, but I was like, to me, there's not one Hallmark movie that stands out. It's just all of them on my TV all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and what I think is, I don't know why people hate on this movie, because to me, I watch it every year and I get a great chuckle. Christmas with the Cranks. One of my like personal go-tos every year. I don't know. There's just so many bits to that movie, and Jamie Lee Curtis with the ham slays. So I do love Christmas with the Cranks. I watched it the other day. I had a blast. So good. All right. We've done it. We all win.
did it.
We're all winners. Hooray. Love it. And I love to see the list that y'all sent in too. That's so funny.
Yeah.
And now we are going to like take a step back from the holidays and look at the year that we've had across all of 2022. And Miss Alexis is finally here to join us. Hello, Alexis. Look at you. What a cute outfit you've donned this evening to join us with. Oh, you're muted. You're muted. You are muted, my friend. I'm sorry.
There we go.
Are those sparkles or flowers or what?
Oh, they're,
What is that?
they're flowers. They're little flowers.
Love.
Very
So
pretty.
cute. This is giving like Belle from Beauty and the Beast, and we had a previous Belle segment, so you're really
bit.
tying through the blue and
Ah,
white.
I'm so happy I was able to do that for you.
Clearly, that was the intention. I can tell by the tone of your voice. I love it. Do you have any favorite Christmas movies that you would like to plug? Is there a movie you go to every year, a little holiday festive special?
We really like the Holiday.
Yeah,
Movie.
yeah.
The Holiday.
Yeah,
You look just
classic.
like my Bobby.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're a big fan of that one.
Good.
We were rushing in the house so I could get up here for this, but I thought I overheard that I had married into a Lethal Weapon as a Christmas movie family, which is
Correct.
fantastic because my family is also a Lethal Weapon as a Christmas movie family. So,
Wow.
I love that for us.
mhm.
Incredible behavior being displayed on tonight's show. I'm obsessed. That's perfect, actually. That's so funny. Wow, you guys really popped off with that one. And Marissa and I have a lot about ourselves this evening as well.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to debrief.
We're just gonna watch children's VHS tapes all Christmas long.
We're gonna like jump on StreamYard and just share screen sing along songs and sing them to each other, I think.
Yes.
That's called Patreon content. But let's talk about the year we have had. If you were with us last year, which I think most of you were, we ended our year by ranking all of the projects that we talked about on this show, which ended up being like every Marvel project that was released in 2021. And we didn't talk about every Marvel project that was released this year. So instead, we are just going to wrap this entire bit. So I am, hold on. I'm going to share my screen in a quick second here. Hold on. Clicking
We
all the
did,
wrong
in
buttons.
fact, decide to make an entire We'll Throw the After Party wrapped. And by we, I mean Liz mentioned this once, and then I went into a fugue state, and
and Liz was waiting in -15 to be let back on the plane and got a text from Sly that I couldn't respond to because my hands were so cold saying I made a PowerPoint. And I was like doing the math in my head of like, why is Sly making a PowerPoint? But for Sly, it was still late at night, and for me, it was the start of the next day, and that really hurt my brain.
Yeah, it was like 4 a.m. for me, and it was like it was 6 for you, so it was like 2 a.m.
for me. It was 6 a.m. for me, so it was like 2 or 3 for you.
Wow.
And I was like, why is Sly up at 6 a.m.? And I was like, oh, it's worse. Sly is up at 3 a.m. Like, okay. Great. But thank you for the hard work that you put into developing a throwaway comment into a beautiful segment. Let's wrap this show. And I'd like to start with a toast, which is going to look like a Christmas tree farm, apparently. But cheers.
My toast looks like Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the
I
Pooh.
have water to toast. Hopefully this is not bad luck, but it's fine.
We got a Capri Sun. We've got coffee. We've got Sly. What do you have again? Sorry.
I only have water, which is technically bad luck to toast with, but we're not in person, so it's
all
fine.
the time.
It's fine. We're doing great. Cheers to another year of throwing the after party, and cheers to all of you for watching with us every week. Woo! Cheers! 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 All right. Let's get into it. Let's wrap the show and put a pretty little bow on it. What do you say? Let's enjoy the animation. Ooh. 2022 wrapped. To kick off our rebrand, we ventured into different shows and found ourselves enjoying some more than others. We talked about 5 series this year on Will There the After Party: Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, Only Murder Season 2, She-Hulk, and then we did the host takeover special to end our year, which we're just that's one thing. We watched 4 different things. It's one series. And now we're going to do our ranking, our very chaotic ranking of what we think the best show of the year was. So ranking from number 5 to our number 1 top choice. And I don't remember who starts this segment. I think we have Alexis, Liz, Marissa, and Sly. We can go in whatever order we want. It's our show. Let's click and see what Sly animated
I will
first.
tell you, it's animated in that order. So it will go Alexis, Liz, Marissa, Sly.
Alexis, your favorite thing to do is go first. You can tell us what your number 5 was and what you thought of this project and why you think it's number 5 on your list. And your number 5 choice was Moon Knight.
Do I need to explain why Moon Knight was my
No,
least
you
favorite?
definitely don't. Because I think if we click, it was also my
Keep
number
clicking.
5 choice, and
Just
it
keep
was also
going.
Marissa's.
Keep rolling.
Hey!
Yeah, honestly, I tried to like in my notes put like a couple memorable moments from each show that we covered.
Love that.
But my Moon Knight moments were like that time I fell in love with Khonshu, like the fact that the psychology was an interpretation at best.
Keep going. Do you have more?
No, just that
We watched this together for emotional support.
Oh,
That's the only way
yes.
we could get through the episodes.
Yes, and I wouldn't have discussed it with any other group of people, plus Bunky, because I think Bunky jumped on.
Bunky was very involved in that season,
Yeah,
in that
jumped
series
onto
as well.
some of it, so.
Yeah. And you did give it a ranking, which I do appreciate. Would you like to share your ranking with the class?
Oh, yeah, I gave it two sad accessory-less Alpines.
A round of tacos in the chat for Alexis, everybody. That's a perfect way to start this off. You really summed it up.
Yeah, when I first looked at the notes, I was like, well, what ranking system are we going to use? So I tried to cover all my bases.
You once again saved the show. I did not think about ranking any of these projects, and now I'm going to make it up on the spot with you. I would like to add one of my favorite moments from watching Moon Knight was our very incredible use of the production brief that Disney Plus sent out to press. We pulled that sucker up every show. We were like, this is what they said they were gonna do. This is the quote they use, and they're not applying it in the episodes. And I feel like I really found my calling, and that really translated through some of the work I did on TikTok this year. Like the understanding that our ability to interpret PR documents for the public is something the public wants to hear. I didn't know if that was interesting to people, but it ended up it was. So
we'll talk more about that later in the show.
Yeah.
Honestly,
great.
I think we as a group were more familiar with the Moon Knight brief than the people that worked on Moon Knight were familiar with the Moon Knight brief.
Oh yeah.
Fair take. Absolutely. Marissa, do you have a favorite moment from watching Moon Knight?
Not favorite, but definitely my most memorable moments from watching Moon Knight were all of the rants I had to give about how Chicago doesn't look like that at all, ever. Where do you think you are? We don't have yellow cabs. Just like on and on and on and on. I will say I might have to backtrack that final statement because I have seen one yellow cab in the last year, but no, we don't. Yellow cabs do not indicate Chicago in the way that I think Marvel hoped it would. I'm still mad about that. I'm still really mad about that.
As is your right.
Sly, do you have a memory to throw in?
Yeah, the only moment in that entire show that stood out to me, I'm sure Alexis will read me to filth on this one, because I did have to pause and rewind and watch it multiple times as we were watching together. And I think it was episode 3? Question mark? The gun pull.
Oh, classic.
Oh my god.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's all I remember from that show. I'm sorry. I couldn't give you more than that.
Okay. You know what?
No.
One thing I do want to say, Moon Knight deserves its props for doing some Jewish representation in the MCU. And we had Bucky on, and that was one of my favorite moments of the year, was hearing from Bucky and hearing from so many Jewish creators about why the erasure of Jewish history in the MCU is problematic and why we need to advocate and push for more Jewish representation. So I think that Moon Knight, certainly not my least favorite Marvel project by a landslide, bottom of the list this year, because I think I really enjoyed all of what we watched this year versus last year. There were some picks on the list that I was like, I enjoyed none of that. Cough, cough, what if? And you know what? This year, no what if came and interrupted my life, and that's something to toast to. Cheers, everybody.
Hell yeah.
Cheers, queers.
All right. Shall we go into the number 4 rankings?
Mhm.
I say we pull all of them up again and just go for it. What do you say? Let's do it.
Yeah.
We have some variety this round.
Mhm.
We are married. That's
She-Hulk.
what
Only
should we
murders in the
say?
building.
Only
Oh.
murders. She-Hulk.
The marriage
Can you
really
tell
took down.
We're
who's
married.
Why don't we start with Only Murders in the Building and talk about our memories from doing that show? We started so strong. We got merch. I got the sweater, so I got the shot
Yeah.
glass. We got these incredible looks at what Selena was wearing. We got a really interesting art heist, and you know us, you know Alexis, we love an art heist on this show. There was a lot to look forward to. And then I don't know where we got lost along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Cara Delevingne, I don't know if we want to blame anything on anyone, but she certainly existed this year in a way that was different.
Yeah.
I thought the script was weaker at points, which is shocking considering you have Steve Martin and Martin Short right there who can write their asses off. And I didn't really get all of the questions that I had answered by the end of the show, but we had a great time naming our suspects of the week, including Marissa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything
I
you
was
said?
I was accused. I was absolutely accused. And I was not here to defend myself, and I'm still bitter about that.
Is that why it's number 4 for you? Did you de-rank Only Murders because we accused you of being the killer live on air?
Yeah, I think it just like sort of soured my perspective on the whole experience.
Wow.
Like it's just sort of a wash on the whole thing. That like all I really remember is like accused of murder. So
Wow.
Let me just say, Marissa said that with the energy of a woman who last week had in her notes, I love the Salem witch trials.
Also on brand.
thank you.
It's
Listen.
called like having multiple attitudes at once. Like multiple truths can exist in Marissa at once. Maybe.
You contain multitudes.
I do. I contain multitudes.
Mhm.
Honestly, the only reason that Only Murders ended up at number 4 for me is because it just was outranked by others. Like, it was really sort of a fight for those top spots.
Mhm.
So I think, yeah, I do think the being accused of murder part sort of knocked it down just a second. Could have been higher, and I'm not saying that it's your fault, but it is your fault.
We'll put that in our end of year evaluation. How does that sound? Less accusing Marissa of murder in 2023.
Oh yeah, I haven't complained that we need an HR department recently.
Yeah.
My complaint really should have been that we need an HR department when I was accused of murder. So
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Let's talk about She-Hulk. Sly and Alexis. Why did She-Hulk land in your number 4?
It was a show. It was a show that when it was pitched, I was like, it's a comedy, not my thing. But procedural. Ooh, Liz is doing something.
Sorry. I moved my mouse and everything moved. I apologize. No WTTAP apology to come after the show.
I love a procedural. And I thought that's what we were going to get. That's what it was pitched as. That is not what they delivered. And that was a choice. So I think that it would have been much higher if it delivered on the premise of the show for me.
That's fair. Alexis?
Honestly, same. Like, it just wasn't my show. And there were other projects that we did that I enjoyed more. But I will say, like, memorable moments from She-Hulk include, well, I couldn't remember anybody's name when I wrote my notes. So it was just like the hatred we felt for fashion designer guy.
Yep.
And not so subtle digs at Daredevil. Those were things I appreciated from our coverage.
Yeah, Daredevil really existed during She-Hulk. He certainly did.
Yeah.
Fleeting moment. He came and went.
And with that, let's reveal the next line of projects, because I think we're going to have more time to talk about Daredevil in this next line. Alexis and Sly, I'm going to
take from Liz.
I'm going to throw it back
Liz
to
is
you
really...
two.
I need about 3 to 5 bits to emotionally recover from that pick for Liz. But yeah, Only Murders. It was fun. It was gay. It was art thievery. It was fine. It didn't hold up to the form as well as I wished it would. I think season 1 was way stronger, but I think the backstory we got in season 2 held me, kept me invested. So yeah, just middle of the road for me.
Alexis?
I was trying to think of what to say. I feel the same way. I don't think it lived up to the first one for me. I enjoyed it more than She-Hulk because it gave me more room to yell about art, which is one of my favorite things. And I really enjoyed every week getting to discover what comedy I had missed live on air from Marissa. That was really joyful for me. I really liked when Sly accused the chicken. I thought that was a particularly brilliant piece in our coverage.
Yeah.
And this was a behind the scenes moment, but there was a show where I came in just squeaked in time, and Liz was really concerned about me naming an MMA guy that wears a suit, which is fun because they all wear suits. So I got to use my my vast but not often utilized MMA knowledge for Only Murders in the Building.
Brilliant. It was a beautiful opportunity for your range of intellect to shine.
It truly was like Alexis putting in her headphones and Liz being like, Alexis, like immediately. And it was like 5 minutes before the show started.
Yeah. No, we had good times with season 2, and I hope that season 3, the setup for season 3 is extraordinary. I think we're in for something so unique.
It wasn't in the building. I'm sorry.
Let me tell you, my Only Murders in the Building season 3 hot take that I already have is that if the guest cast is as good as the guest cast on Blue's Clues, Blue's Big City Adventure, then I will be happy. But that's the bar. Like, that movie has set the bar for
that movie deserves an Oscar. It needs to be in the Academy Award.
They dropped some names.
Yeah.
They dropped some names in there.
They did.
Marissa, I'm going to go to you next. She-Hulk. Talk about it.
I really liked it. I had my questions. It had a lull there for a second. But personally, I felt like it had a really strong start and a really strong finish. And it said something new and interesting about the MCU. And it was kind of fun to watch in real time our commentary on it, parallel what they were saying on the show and how they sort of were reinforcing what we were saying, which was fun to see. And it was fun to see like comedy world people thrown into the MCU. I had a great time. And Jen Walters is perfect and should be protected at all costs.
T. Absolutely. I love it.
Yep.
Don't hate me for this ranking of Miss Marvel because
But I do. So
these two are two of my top Marvel projects of all time. Like Miss Marvel is easily a top 5 Marvel project for me. My life fell apart when this show was on air. And I didn't get to appreciate it the way everybody else did. And I just got to take some more time with Miss Marvel to really give the show itself the love that it deserves. Because I thought it was a beautiful story, the best representation of family in the MCU, such a strong understanding of fan community and the way that these superheroes live in our lives. It was stunning beginning to end. I also think that Miss Marvel suffered from the change in scheduling in which it came out. And we were supposed to get it a lot sooner. Yes. And I think that would have helped some of the episode structure fatigue that I was feeling by the time we got to the series, because truly, like, they applied one model to almost every single Marvel series with the exception of She-Hulk, and you could really feel it by the time we got to Miss Marvel. And that's unfair to how high quality the content, the performances, and the storylines are. So it's nothing against Miss Marvel. It's a perfect project. I think my problems with it are more peripheral and contextual to the time it came out in. And I think just like the way a lot of people reflect on WandaVision and how great WandaVision has aged over time and really stood out, Miss Marvel's going to have the same kind of arc. Certainly for me, I liked WandaVision when I watched it for the first time. I thought it was spectacular. And then the more I removed myself from it, the more I came back to it, the more I realized, like, I love this project. It's spectacular. And I feel the same for Miss Marvel. So, there. I've said my piece, and now y'all get to say your piece about Miss Marvel, because you all had Miss Marvel in your number 2 spot. So the floor is yours.
You just said it all, though. So, like, now what am I supposed to say? Like, best representation of family, fan communities. It got stuck a little bit in the 6-episode breakdown. It is going to be like a lasting piece of the MCU that's just going to grow and become more charming as it continues. Can't wait to see what Kamala and her family does next.
Yeah, I think it was a beautiful story. It was fairly well done. Like, it's definitely one of the best Marvel projects, in my opinion. And we had a great time with it. I think our coverage of the show was really excellent. We had a lot of fun with it. There was a lot of great bits. We love Liz yelling about maps. Like, we just had so much fun talking about the show, and it was such a breath of fresh air after a series of shows that we really did not enjoy. And while we had some excellent commentary and discussions around the shows we didn't particularly enjoy, being able to just celebrate and embrace that joy within the show, I think was just such a quality moment for us as a group. And as Max says, as in the video, I think about, like, at least once a day, just like the vulnerability of joy and expressing like happiness, and be able to curate a place, carve out a space in this community where we can be so open about the things that we really loved in that show was just a highlight of the project overall.
Beautifully
I almost
said.
put this
Well
as my number
said.
one. I legitimately considered this being my number one overall, but we'll get to that when we get to it.
So did I. Yeah.
Alexis?
I mean, everything that everybody else said. This project brought me a lot of joy. And it brought me a lot of joy to do it with everybody here. I don't want to like rehash what everybody just said, but that's, that was kind of it for me. Just brought me joy.
I think that's I feel like that's such an underrated reason to rank a project that way. Like, I always go straight to like the critical reception and forget, like, if a project brought you joy, that is enough, right? I do think like Miss Marvel also suffered at the hands of the internet, and that was disappointing to react to in real time, because when you look at the project as a whole, it is a joyful project, but it was so like torn as it was like being released to us, and that was also disappointing. But not Miss Marvel's fault, just like the moment it found itself in wasn't spectacular.
Yeah.
She-Hulk. Women. Reese Witherspoon, women's stories matter. They just matter. And just like Marissa, I'm a sucker for a comedy. I love a comedy. I eat up a comedy. It's my favorite genre. And I know that's not shared across this show. But I was so excited to get like some true comedy, even if it wasn't what we were expecting from She-Hulk. It really was funny in a way that I needed in my life and really responded to. And it talked a lot about women in the workplace. And I was like, hell yeah, Jen. I really felt all of that piece of it. And it had some cool commentary on influencer culture. And I also thought that was interesting for Marvel to make a comment at. And I loved watching the horrible toxic reaction line up expertly with that story arc. That was like the most delicious moment I have ever gotten to have served to me as a Marvel fan. And just watching all the toxic people creep back into the dark corner of the internet because they were served and there was nothing they could say because we had a GIF reaction to everything to come back at them with. Woo! It was wonderful. Loved it. So that's my take on She-Hulk. Far from a perfect show, but it served a purpose greater than itself. And I think it did it very well. Huzzah. That's how I feel. Woohoo. She-Hulk. Congratulations. You did the damn thing. And you were funny while you did it. And that's what I want from my TV. I want to get a little mad at the patriarchy. I want to have a little chuckle. I want people to be put in their place. She-Hulk said, yum, yum, yum.
Add that to the recap highlight.
Okay, let's talk about our number one choice.
Oh, look at us. Number 1 and number 5. Cohesive unit.
Who wants to take this one?
I'll take this
go.
one.
It's your idea.
I pitched this. We made it happen. It was great. It brought me so much joy to be able to share one of my favorite movies and force it in the throats of everybody else. I loved that I got to bond with Marissa, discovering one of the 3 common opinions we have on media. I love that Liz forced me to watch Twilight, so I have now experienced that for once in my life. I may not have enjoyed it, but I'm glad it happened.
Wait until I make you watch New Moon, bestie. We've got
God.
4 movies to go.
I got to make the worst thumbnail of my life, and I got to enjoy the feeling of purposefully making something bad and not correcting it and making it better, because Liz had a very specific image for how that thumbnail went. And I still think about fixing it every now and then, but I'm just embracing the fact that we can have flaws and we can be visibly flawed, and it's okay. I'm currently working my way through Timeless. I mentioned it at the top of the show. I can't wait to watch more of that and finally get to see all of your unhinged thoughts and opinions on it. So Host
And
Takeover
it's
is my favorite
unhinged. Let me
series.
it's some of the most unhinged
Oh,
commentary
I
we've
do-
ever done.
We put
I
the
do want
chaotic
to
in chaotic breakdown.
mention I had a rant. Okay, this is gonna be a full tangent. Sorry, bear with me. For the first time in my life ever, I did plan a rant ahead of time, and then Liz immediately threw out the window by saying, "Hey, what if we do a themed rant segment?" But in my rant segment, my original rant segment, I was going to mention that apparently you all read me to filth for my taste in broken white boys on last week's show. And I don't know anything else about that, but I'm just gonna say fake news.
Oh, I think we did. Yes, I think we did.
Well,
it
we
wasn't just
did not.
about you.
I did.
It wasn't just about you, Sly.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for you to watch that episode and then come back to the show and tell us you've watched that
Oh.
episode and then share all of your
It'll be
thoughts on
great.
air. It'll be great. It'll be
What's
so good.
been wonderful is me rewatching our coverage and realizing just how many important details I completely left out. I'm like, oh, there's a lot that I just like.
I
in my
felt like
head.
I got a full picture.
Well, keep that thought.
I feel like you could say that about all the projects we covered, though. We really hit very interesting angles of each of the projects that we watched. I loved revisiting the Princess Diaries. I watched it in such a chaotic fashion, and then we came to the show, and it was like we had the most chaotic conversation. It was so much fun. Clone Wars was like entering a vortex and then getting sucked out of that vortex and being like, what did I just spend the last 2 hours of my life watching, but in a really good way? Timeless was like incredibly confusing to switch to that second episode, and I was like, this is the exact chaos meter I strive to live my life at. So I really loved that structure, and I think we're gonna bring it back and do it again. So if anyone watching wants to throw suggestions, and hello to the replayers watching later on, thanks for hanging out with us. If you want to throw suggestions of what we could do next as a team, you let us know in the comments, because God, I think we're going to have some fun with that style of commentary moving forward. What do y'all say?
Yeah, I had just as much fun watching things that I knew and loved and had like lived with for my whole life as I did things I had never seen before. Like, I was like, how am I going to talk about Clone Wars? I don't, and I had so much fun. And the same with Timeless. Like, equal opportunity joy. It was great.
Yeah, equal opportunity joy is such a good way of framing that. Sly, do you want to react to what JJ just threw into the chat?
So JJ and I did this thing during the hiatus for Thirsty Thursday where I forced JJ to watch Transplant and JJ forced me to watch Bad Buddy, and I fell absolutely in love with Bad Buddy. It is incredible, and I would absolutely love to force you guys to watch it. It's just so delicious. It's so good. Yes, absolutely. That might be my next pick.
Obsessed. Well, there's our 2022 wrapped.
Alexis, do you want to talk about the takeovers?
Oh, yes. Alexis,
Oh,
takeovers.
I loved it. It was fun. All my friends are really smart and they have interesting taste in stuff. And woohoo! I know, but I did. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I was one of those things that I like ended and I was like, okay, when are we going to do the next one? Because like I already have a plan. I'm already looking forward to it. So some of my favorite stuff that we've done. And it was great to see an idea from like this little seed at the beginning, get fulfilled on this show. I thought that was really great to watch. So
well said.
Yeah.
Let me try my transition again. Thanks for reminding us to allow Alexis to speak, because Alexis likes an intro, and I was excited about my transition. So here we go. Ready? Let me start again. Pretend I didn't do it before. Okay. There is our 2022 wrapped, or is it? Da, da, da. There's more where that came from. Sly, I'm gonna let you read this one.
We hosted 42 after parties, including 3 special events, 2 birthdays, and 1 funeral.
And I'm not going to say anything on this slide until the post show. So if you want to know what comment I made about this earlier today, DM me on Instagram at producer Liz. Marissa,
right.
this slide is yours to introduce because you really laid the foundation for a brand that thrives on a chaotic meme. And I think you deserve a round of tacos in the chat for your hard work bringing meme culture to life on We'll Throw the After Party.
Thank you so much. Listen, this list was compiled without my knowledge. So it was not self-serving in any way, but I do co-sign it. These are our top 5 favorite memes of the year. First up, Miss Flo with her little Aperol spritz. And yeah, I gotta say, it did become this show's Bucky with the cake, which
truly
means so much to me.
I am so excited for Florence Pugh and Sebastian Stan to be starring together in that Marvel movie so that we can use those memes side by side.
Oh my God, I haven't even considered the possibilities.
It's going to be art.
Wow.
Next.
Mr. Andrew P. Signs Garfield. The person who did compile this list, a one Sly Clone MC, did inform us that Andrew Garfield, with peace signs, was used many times. 2 separate meme images.
Yeah, we have multiple memes of Andrew Garfield doing this.
You'll see more about that later.
There's several photos of him like this. Breakdown era TM Wanda. An underrated fave. I gotta say, yeah, underrated fave. Not pulled out all that often, but like when we're in anguish.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's a strategic use. It's like a back pocket ace. Yeah.
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 Ketchup Bella, so slay. We love a meme with many layers.
This one came in at the end of the year and really just swept a really pivotal slot on this list.
Yes.
Like, it's not number 5. It's number 4. Like, she came in at the end, blew everyone away. Mm-hmm.
It's like Antihero making my top 20 songs on Spotify with 3 weeks to go.
This is the anti-hero of We'll Throw the After Party.
And number 5, Timeless Spider-Man. There are many spider memes, but this one is ours.
So true. So true. And I don't think this meme's going anywhere. It is staying in the rotation of us being confused.
We're keeping that one around.
Top 5 unhinged moments. Marissa?
Yes. The top 5 unhinged moments. Also on our socials. The top 5 unhinged moments on our socials. Mostly our Twitter account. Number 1, top of the list. Sebastian Stan's Barbie audition. Leaked by Bucky. This is his Met Gala look. And Bucky said it was his leaked Barbie audition. And we put it on our Twitter account. And it is still popular.
Because Bucky doesn't have a Twitter. And we said, that's gold. Can we use it? And Bucky said, sure, please do.
Right. We did not steal it. We were given permission.
We were channeling Bucky via
and it is very popular.
Account. Yeah. Congratulations, Bucky, on making We'll Throw the After Party 2022 Wrapped History.
Yes.
Twice. You're right.
That's true. Then we have any picture of Timothée Chalamet, because he is only allowed to be used for promotional use. Mm-hmm. It has to be accompanying promotion for the show. We can't just have rogue Timmy Shao.
No, and it's only ever used by when I have to promote that the show is happening, and I just choose to put a photo of Timothée Chalamet on saying, "Hi, it's Liz. It's my turn to promote the show. Here's a photo of Timothée Chalamet," and usually it just erupts in a lot of groans and not so pleased
regardless of what we're discussing on the show this week.
He's always relevant. There's always a connect. He was a suspect of the week on Only Murders in the Building series. We talked about Dune. Timmy's been around. He's got a permanent spot in the show.
Next up, we have 525,600 Oscar Night Andrews. Getty works hard, but After Party Show works harder. Purely born out of the fact that we were scrolling through our Twitter to find our unhinged moments, and it was just Andrew Garfield at the Oscars, Andrew Garfield at the Oscars, Andrew Garfield at the Oscars for pages on
He really
pages.
served us this year. He really served
Mhm.
it up.
And number 4, speaking of when Liz tweets from the account, breaking into our own account and threatening to kick each other off of it because it's password protected.
Honorable mention goes to when Alexis tweets and says, everyone's going to be so proud of me, because that also happened multiple times this year.
Yes.
Everyone's going to be so proud. I made it onto the show account. I tweeted from the show account. I didn't ask for help to get onto the show account. And every time, we are proud of you. It's
Listen,
true.
there are a lot of steps. I have to remember how Twitter works. I have to remember the password. I have to have the confidence and sheer will to just like break in and do it without validation. Like,
Yeah.
it's a
It's
lot.
a lot of
that goes
Every
steps.
time you do it, it's the best tweet we've ever
It
posted.
really is. It's even resulted in a Liz inhaler moment from time to time when I get a notification and I'm like, what is that? I open it and I'm like, gold.
Let me
Comedic
tell you
gold.
though, recently, since I had to get rid of my Twitter account for a little while, I have been lurking on the show account.
Oh,
And there have been
beautiful.
many a times where
My
I have
favorite
like
time is when something gets liked on the show account.
There have been many times though where I've liked something and then realized I was on the show account and just like unliked it. Like nobody will ever know it's there. That's happened a couple times. I almost answered Danielle. Like I had like a full paragraph typed and then was like, oh no. I'm on the show account. So that's just a preface for the end of the year into 2023. If something on the show account doesn't look like it should be there, it's because I have forgotten that it's not my personal Twitter account.
I love that. I say go for it. I think we should
With
start
the
having.
NDS tweets that have hit the graveyard right before I realized.
Listen, let's just get the show account right into those conversations. I say, why not? If you would say it on the show, you can say it on the show Twitter account. And that's how we
100%.
make decisions about our marketing
100%.
strategy live on air with all of you.
And number 5, which was nominated by my co-hosts, the unironic use of the word slay, because they're all stuck now.
It's true.
Uh-huh. Which leads us into our next segment. We each had some iconic slays, but one stood out in particular. I'm going to take Alexis's and then we're going to go down the list and everybody gets the chance to read one as long as it's not their slay. So Alexis's slay is Alpine deserves a Chipotle cat house. During Moon Knight episode 2, go back and rewatch it, Alexis delivers an iconic rant about how if Chipotle can make good cat houses for influencers' cats, surely Marvel could make better houses for Alpine.
Slay.
Slay.
Slay. Anything to say?
Listen,
That
I
Alexis?
forgot this happened until it was brought up for this episode, but I stand by it.
Absolutely.
It lives in my memory in perpetuity.
Rent free.
When did I say that?
Slay of the year.
Marissa? Would you like to take mine?
Yes. Liz's slay, most iconic slay, is the Nick Jonas versus Timothée Chalamet rant. During She-Hulk episode 3, Liz delivers a bold and impassioned rant claiming that, in fact, Nick Jonas could not do Little Women, yet Timothée Chalamet could do Camp Rock.
And I stand by it. I think it's aged like wine. Like a fine, decadent cheese. Slay. I don't care
Slay.
if anyone else thinks this. Actually, you know what? As JJ says, slay.
Holiday slay.
Holiday slay. Like I said, Timothée Chalamet always fits in the equation. I stand
Too
by it.
real.
Oh, you got me.
I'll take Marissa's to keep the spousal privilege going here. Marissa's slay. Clint Barton killed Bunny Folger during our Hall H live reactions, which was a chaotic show. Marissa accused one Clinton Francis Barton as being our primary murder suspect in the case of Only Murders in the Building season 2.
I still think he did it. The evidence is perfectly lined up. I don't know why no one took me seriously. It makes complete
We
sense.
support you.
Thank
It was
you.
it was a play.
It's between either you or Clint Barton, and so we gotta go with Clint Barton.
One
I
of us,
support women's wrongs. Okay.
one of us has, unalived people on video that we've all watched, and it's not me.
Oh, I was like, which one of us did that for you?
One of
We're
my
talking about Clint
favorite
Barton.
rants of all time. And I don't even know if it was a proper rant. I was going back through our past episodes so I could find something that I needed for my rant tonight. And there's a lovely bit of Marissa just going on about how if Clint hadn't already ended his marriage, the tights wouldn't be the final straw.
Oh,
It has also aged like wine. It is one of my favorite things.
Listen, if only that had taken place in the last year, I would have nominated myself for that moment.
It was a sleigh. It was a sleigh. Absolutely. Alexis, would you like to read off slides?
Sure. Okay, I was like, I'm not seeing it. Is it there? Sly's iconic sleigh is possessed by Viscount, right? Viscount?
Yep.
Marbury. And it's during Marissa's takeover, Sly's body was briefly commandeered by the malevolent spirit, of one Viscount Marbury to deliver an impassioned rant about duty and postage stamps. And I will say, I watched that episode and really wanted the Marissa Sly, MC University drama class style moment to be on the hypothetical soundboard that we always.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I will say I did choose, with the help of some of our very dedicated listeners, everybody's iconic sleighs, and I did write the copy for the description of all these moments. So hearing you all read these passages that are written very much in my voice has brought me so much joy tonight.
No, they're so good.
What? Comms major alert! They can write copy. Oh no! What a fun sleigh on your end. I will say that about this moment specifically, I always, in reference to work and in terms of my professional life and my career, I talk about how you develop ranges of what you're able to do and what you can tolerate, right? And how the more experience you have, the wider your range gets. And if you take that theory and apply it to this moment, we tapped into a range of emotion I didn't know Sly was capable of publicizing on the show. I want Michael for 2023 to figure out how can we tap more of that from Sly and channel it into our coverage, because it was marvelous. Took me by
just
surprise.
need to be possessed by malevolent spirits more often.
Understood. Sly, take it away.
All right. This is our personality type. If you are new to the show, are you just now finding us, are catching up over our break, I wanted to give us all a little taste of how we branded ourselves individually at the start of creating this platform. So while we were creating We'll Throw the After Party, we made a conscious choice to describe ourselves as a chaotic weekly pop culture breakdown show. That's the show. We also decided to give ourselves each quick elevator pitch of who we are, what we do, to describe ourselves. And I thought it would be really fun for us to revisit this after 9 months after writing these, and then also in our future wraps, we can reflect on where we were at the end of each year.
Love it.
So I did cheat a little bit, because when we first wrote this, I had a different third part, but I did rebrand a month after.
That's fair.
That's true.
That's fair. We had a little working period of trying to nail these down.
Yeah, a little adjustment period. So if you don't know me, hi, I'm Sly. I'm deaf, I'm queer, I'm a Jane Austen stan. And at any party, you can find me in the kitchen, which is a very on-brand thing for deaf people. We always congregate in the kitchen at parties.
Still stands? Still stands
Still
for you?
stands. Yeah. Uh-huh.
I'll take mine next. Producer, PR, proving men wrong. At any party, she's pouring drinks and spilling the tea. I forgot proving men wrong was in there. I feel like that stands. I also feel like I've just proved a lot of people wrong this year, regardless of gender. So perhaps I need to reframe into a more proving everybody wrong, proving the
Fair. You
patriarchy
did
and enablers
say
wrong.
Proving men TM wrong.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
Mhm.
Very true. That's my only note, because certainly I'm still pouring drinks and spilling tea. No notes on that end.
Yeah.
Marissa?
Yeah. I'm Marissa. I talk about wigs, media analysis, and Bucky with the cake. And at any party, I'm the one who brought dessert. And that is all still true. Listen, Twitter might be dying, but Bucky with the cake never will.
Amen. That's my religion right there. Absolutely. Alexis?
So I have a little bit of a story about
I
mine.
can't wait.
Do I have time to share a story?
Yeah.
Okay.
Please.
So I'm Alexis. My original bio says cats, comics, the checklist, TM. At any party, she's talking to the pets. And it is definitely true that I am a cat mom. I love cats. I think Alpine is involved in our show in part because of me. And I will always be talking to the pets. I looked at this comics piece and I was like, oh my goodness, how much I have changed and grown, even though those things aren't, mutually exclusive. I was like, oh, wow, I did start this show as like one thing, right? I was firmly in my comics box. That was my presence on the internet. I didn't really want to deviate from that. And, through this show and through the year, I've kind of left that behind. You can see previous after party show episodes for my breakup with MCU Marvel Talk or Marvel Comic Talk. But I was like, wow, I have really I've changed. I've, been able to share more of myself on the internet. And that's so exciting for me. So I am FaceTiming my partner who is at work. And it's something we do when there's like a lull in the day. He works 24-hour shifts most days. And so we're FaceTiming and I'm super excited. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have changed so much. I am not at all the person I was when I started this show. And he says, what's this checklist piece? Like, what is this? And I said, oh, well, a while ago, at the time in the past, not anymore, but at the time in the past when the show started, it was a running joke that my type was tall, brunette men who spoke multiple languages and had either had some like military history or they were academics. And it was like, we made one exception for like a doctor. But like when the show started, that's where I was at, like in the past, right?
I wonder who that might describe.
That doesn't sound like anyone you know.
Who is 6'3", balancing the phone as we were FaceTiming on top of a punching bag. So that all of the tattoos from his military service were highlighted, raised one dark eyebrow at me and explained in both Spanish and Portuguese the hilarity of me assuming that that was something that was in the past tense. So I would just like to say, as much as things change, some things will just always stay the same.
I want to say, shout out to that man. Certainly when I say proving men wrong, it's not him.
Can I piggyback off of this? I want to highlight how codependent Alexis and I have gotten over the course of the year in two instances involving aforementioned man. First of all, we had to remind him that he could not, in fact, bake something for me because I do live across the country. And second of all, while I was in the shower having a wee bit of a mental breakdown, I did seriously consider for like a solid chunk of time making this man my emergency contact who I have never once spoken to face to face.
That's art.
So you know.
That does lead me to another development of this year, which when I was on one of my flights this week, I forget which one, I was running out of things to do. I started going through my notes, cleaning up my notes. I have like 600 notes on my iCloud just because like I've always had one iCloud account. Like I never delete them. So I'm trying to now go through and delete things. And I came across this note called How to Save Alexis's Life.
Oh, yes.
And I was like, what is this? And I opened it and immediately remembered one day, Alexis said, can someone come on FaceTime with me while I put up the Christmas tree to make sure I'm okay? And we were like, yeah, of course. But like, you sent that text. I went back to work. I come back to my text and we have like a full list by list instruction of what do we actually do if like Alexis were to harm herself while trying to put up her Christmas tree, like if she fell off a ladder or something. And I just copy and pasted it into a note and shared it with everybody point blank. Like this is the instruction manual we cannot lose. So we also have a checklist for that now, which I think is great. Yeah. I think every friend group should have a checklist of things to do if someone stops answering their phone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're really good problem solvers for being in entirely different positions in the continent.
So codependent. I love that for us.
And I don't even know, like in my head, I was like, if something happens, Liz will call 911. I don't even know how that works for Liz since Liz is in Canada. Like, I don't know. I don't think that works, but in my head,
I was willing to figure it out should the moment arise.
In my heart, it was more important that you knew which dispatchers I wanted you to talk to.
Yeah. Like step fucking 23, not like Liz is in Canada. And
when you finally figure out how to call 911 in the States, this is who you ask for. And if they're not there, just abort the plan. I will die.
Yeah. My plan was, though, because I think Sly was not around and Marissa was working. So my plan was just to call Marissa and just like her. Like
pretty far down the list, Liz realized Marissa's going to have to be the one to call.
Yeah. It's not going to be me. No. Love it. Oh, good. We can add Sylvan to the list of potential people who does live in America and is capable of calling the right 911 department. Excellent. If anyone else would like to volunteer, you just DM us at After Party Show, and we will add our viewers.
We'll add you to the phone tree of emergency contact.
Beautiful.
Okay, so I got sick yesterday, last night, and I'm chronically ill. I think everybody knows this, but sometimes it's a fine line. Like sick to ER is like a fine, like I'm always okay, but the sick to like Alexis needs medical attention line is pretty thin. And so a friend of ours came over for a couple hours to like make sure I was okay, and I was basically like, I'm gonna pick what we're watching. Like, how do you not have a sick day movie? Because my sick day movie yesterday was like any documentary I could get my hands on. They were like, no. So we end up watching, and I was like completely out of it, this telenovela that I understood none of. Like there were no English subtitles. It was all in Spanish. I had no clue what was going on. And then she said, a lot of people relate it to this other thing that I think is in English, and it was Young Royals. So high on pain medication last night, I watched like the first 3 episodes of Young Royals, and it was just as confusing as the telenovela.
What a bomb to drop live. Wow.
I got it. Hold on.
A little bit of an intervention. How far into episode 3 did you get?
With like 5 minutes, but honestly,
God.
I remember none of it. Like I'm gonna have to rewatch.
I'm just saying, I'm telling you this live on air. There's something that will be very triggering to you specifically at the end of episode 3.
I woke up this morning and I was like, all I remember was like a bunch of Spanish, which was not in Young Royals, and then horses. Like what I took from 3 episodes or 2.
Young Royals is also not in
episodes
English.
of
I guess
Young
there is
Royals
an English dub.
was
I don't watch
that-
Young Royals in English.
We were watching it in English. I do remember that, and I do remember that there were horses, and that
There are horses, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
yeah.
We have to unpack that after the show. Let's keep going. I'm just
With
gonna
that-
hard with
With
that.
that, let's talk
We
about the
learned
things
some
we've learned
lessons.
this year.
Yeah. Lesson number 1, say yes to Liz's shower rebrand ideas. You never know where the best inspiration might strike. It might be a One Direction song.
It usually is a One Direction song, to be perfectly honest.
Would
with
you like to give any further explanation to that, Liz?
I shall save it.
Save it for the rant.
Great. Save it for the rants.
I'll take this one. Taco is the highest form of flattery, or multiple tortilla warmers, or gluten-free tortillas, or alpines with and without collars in various amounts. What's the math again?
I think JJ is the only one that understands.
I also, in
Yeah.
my notes, I didn't end up reading them, but in my notes for our rankings, I added a new dish to the Alpine.
Oh, please
Really?
go on.
Yeah, I added tamales to the Alpine.
Oh.
Great
So
choice.
we'll have to work that in
I would like to add with a sprinkle, or not a sprinkle. Sprinkle's not the right word. A spread of guacamole. Just a little a
Mhm.
gluten-free tortilla with a nice spread of guacamole. To me, outranks a tortilla warmer.
Wow.
Those may be fighting words.
Wow.
We'll save it for 2023. Something to
The
consider.
lore. The lore.
We'll have JJ on the show someday, specifically to explain our ranking system to
I
us.
needed like
Beautiful.
Bill Nye the Science Guy style for JJ.
Yeah, I feel like JJ's like the show accountant, but not for like the business. For like, anyway, it's great.
Yeah.
Next,
Our final lesson of the year. Lesson number 3. Everyone has a seat at the after party. No one celebrated alone in 2022 and will continue to get loud in 2023. Liz, please read the final sentence because it is so in your voice.
so pull up a seat, my friends. We'll see you with new shows in the new year. Yay! Beautifully done, my friends. That was a beautiful wrap of where we've been. I'm very pleased that you found such a beautiful PowerPoint template. Sly, thank you for sharing with us. We covered a lot this year, and we did a lot this year, and we showed up every week with hot takes and shows we didn't like at times, and news that we didn't know how to react to most of the time, and production briefs that we were very mad about a lot of the time, and we still found a way to celebrate representation and conversations and shows that we loved. But perhaps most importantly, we also found a lot of things to rant about. So I thought it was only fitting that we end this year by going back to everyone's favorite segment, which is the rant segment of the show that religiously no one is ever ready to start. And yet we do it to ourselves every week. And it has been a minute since all 4 of us have been on the show to do a rant segment together. So I thought, of course, I would switch it up, as I love to do when no one's ready for a segment, and rebrand to do rants of the year. And I think we've got an interesting list. And I really do like all of these topics in relation to what our personalities and what our summary of the year has been. My rant was actually a little bit of a group effort pre-show because I couldn't remember any examples, but lo and behold, Marissa and Sly certainly did. I am going to be ranting about the unexpected show unaccepted show rebrands that were pitched by me.
The rejects.
Yeah, the rejects.
But I would like to remind everyone of slide 1, which is listen to when Liz wants to rebrand. So I will ask you if anyone who is watching wants to support any of the rebrand ideas, let us know, because you never know when I'm going to turn around and say it's time to do something different. Marissa, what are you ranting about this evening?
Mine is not so much about the end of the year for the show. It's more just about the end of the year and the holiday season. So That's all I want to say, honestly.
I like it. I like it. Sly?
All right. So I did try to rebrand myself this year as the Jane Austen stan, and then followed that up by never talking about Jane Austen. So, in
That is
honor
true.
of Bunky, shout out to Bunky when you catch this on the replay. Bunky bought Pride and Prejudice this
Mhm.
week. So in honor of that, I will be ranting about the definitive order in which to read Jane Austen.
Beautiful. I love it. Alexis?
So my rant, like Marissa's, is not really an end of the year for the show, but my rant, if you go back through our show docs, I have tried to do this rant like 6 times.
It's perfect. This
And
is exactly
every
what
time
you
I
should be doing.
try to
this
do
evening.
it, like something happens. So it will be an end of the year moment for me. And all I'm going to say is that my rant is about Oliver Stark.
Ugh,
Okay.
I'm so thrilled to finally hear this one come to life for us. It's been so long waiting for this moment from Alexis. This wouldn't be a true segment of our show if someone pitched an idea and everyone interpreted it differently. So thank you for following the brand of our show by doing so, friends. And with that, I'm going to get things started. Unaccepted show rebrands. No, we are not rebranding for the 3rd time yet. In my cadence of pitching show rebrands, that won't happen until January. So we have a few weeks to go until I start to say we have to do something new. One of my rejected rebrand ideas was to unify our usernames. That was strongly rejected by all, including Marissa, who's very attached to the Miss Abobissa brand, and I respect it. Second, we'll throw the pop culture party. I don't know if that was the actual name, but certainly doing
Frozen is not a Christmas movie. Just because there is snow and ice does not mean that Frozen is a Christmas movie. Frozen does not take place anytime near Christmas. It doesn't take place even in the winter season. It takes place in summer. That is why it is such a problem that there is so much snow. It takes place in June. I do not want to see Frozen included on any Christmas movie lists. Absolutely not. That is not what it is there for.
All right, the first Jane Austen you should read is Pride and Prejudice. Listen, it's a classic for a reason. Even if you haven't seen it, you've probably seen something that took the plot of Pride and Prejudice. It's fun, it's dramatic, it's the seminal enemies to lovers storyline. And if you haven't read it before, film yourself reading chapter 34 and thank me later for the content. Now, what you should read second, I want to say for my next segment.
Okay, so in my head, I did a rant earlier this year. Now I'm pretty sure it was last year, but in my head, earlier this year, I did a rant about Goran Viznik and roles that he should play in the MCU. This was a very well thought out rant because Goran Viznik was in Elektra, which is an MCU related property. So instead of doing another well thought out rant, I decided that I would just pitch other roles that I want Oliver Stark, who is not related to the MCU, to play.
We decided to keep the show more media focused. So then there was talk about being more of like a gossip channel. I got on Demois. I was like, it is horrible being a gossip channel exclusively. I really respect what Demois has built, but it's not for us. Then there was the series of logo rebrands that were pitched. Sly did 4 logos for the show, and it was more of a bit than it was a serious conversation, but I took it way too seriously. We had one that ripped off Disney, the Oscars, One Direction, and Leverage, and it was so good. If you didn't see that show, go find those
As
logos.
Club
They're so
pointed
good.
out, the only Christmas thing in the Frozen continuity is the Olaf special. Not only is there a separate Frozen Christmas special, there is a Frozen property for every season of the year. There is a winter, summer, spring, and fall Frozen property for you to enjoy. But Frozen, the movie, is not that. We have Olaf's Frozen Adventure, which is the holiday special. That is appropriate for the winter time. Then,
Plot twist. It doesn't matter what you read second, so I'm just gonna pitch you a series of a description of all the rest of her works, and whichever one vibes with you is what you should read second. If you really dig Pride and Prejudice and want another novel that like explores the dichotomy of 2 characters, go with Sense and Sensibility. It's sisterly love, it's a seaside tale, it's a familiar perspective on class and dating after Pride and Prejudice. However, if you want a fun, funny plot with a rich, queer girl boss main character.
So roles Oliver Stark, who is not related to the MCU, should play. Number 1, assistant sweater salesman. I think this would be a pivotal role for him. I think it is really important. He wears outerwear like nobody else, and I think he can be a good assistant sweater salesman. The second role I would like him to play in the MCU is Alpine's babysitter. I think there are some times that Alpine cannot go into battle, like Marissa's mentioned glitter bombs.
Sorry, I have to cut that off. Let's keep going. We talked during the Hall H special about rebranding to Coven of Chaos when that was announced as the Marvel project. So that would have been fun, Coven of Chaos. I'm not sure if it's exactly like the whole like gender inclusive thing we were going for when we went for We'll Throw the After Party, but definitely I saw a name I liked and said, can we take it? Next, production brief snobs. That could be like a tagline of this show, depending on the show we're talking about, for sure.
So that's our winter moment. Then into spring, we have Frozen Fever, which is all about Elsa throwing Anna's birthday party. Anna's birthday is the spring solstice. Then we have summer. Summer is Frozen 1, the first movie. It takes place in June. It's a big deal that there's suddenly a snowstorm in the middle of June. Kristoff's trying to sell ice because it's summer and people need to keep their like fish cold. That's why it's a whole thing. Then into fall, we have
Rich,
Frozen.
queer girl boss Emma. It's gay, it's messy, it's what Clueless is based on. It's a fun time. If you enjoy gothic novels, classic or modern, it doesn't matter, and or enjoy reference-heavy text, read Northanger Abbey. It's like gothic satire-ish. It's nerdy. It's my favorite. I love it so much. If you like really interesting characters that don't mind a challenge, read Persuasion. Has some of the best characterizations I've ever read, but
sometimes Alpine can't go into battle because of glitter and she'll need a babysitter. I think Oliver Stark would be a really great cat dad. Third, I think I'm on 3. Another role I think he should play is Laura Barton's trainer. I previously pitched that Goran Visnich should play Laura Barton's real husband. And I think to throw like a problem in that plan, that she goes to the gym a lot and that Oliver Stark is her trainer. And I stand by that. I think that's a really
crazy when you think of the White Lotus season 2, but I'll digress and I'm just going to whip through a bunch of these. 3 comms majors and a master's of crime fighting, too long. The mental illness club, too generic. The morning show, thinking about it for a different thing. We'll throw the bed rest party, and that's what we're like when we're all under the weather, which is always, so like we can't replace the show with something that's also consistent. We have enough broken appendages. That only applies when all of us have broken bones, like multiple.
Frozen 2 is set in the fall. Frozen 2 is the superior Frozen film. It's the best one. It's the one you should watch every season. However, you've been given a gift of Frozen for every season. Frozen 1 is not your answer at Christmas time. Olaf's Frozen Adventure is. It's got great songs. It has a lot of cultural, education. It's got reindeer. It's got Santa Claus. Olaf's Frozen Adventure for Christmas. Please and thank you.
The beginning of Persuasion is slow, and I definitely had to start it like 5 times before I actually finish it. But again, the characterization, top notch. If you really into epistolary works and don't mind an unfinished story, read Lady Susan. Okay, maybe not your second Austen ever, but it's a novella. It's a very different vibe. I think it's worth an eventual read. If you like an underdog, I guess you could try Mansfield Park. I don't remember anything about it, and it's considered one of her least popular novels. Sanditon also exists, I guess.
There may or may not be a show where Oliver Stark tried to do some fighting with a sword. I don't think it was his fault, but I do think we should bring that back in kind of like a LARPer Hawkeye situation. I think like lead LARPer would be a really good role for him. But finally, I would just like him to play like happy man with family that loves him. Everybody is alive. Everybody loves him. He is happy and out and proud. That's what I want from him.
Alexis, you are my hero.
You were so welcome.
That was worth the year-long wait for that.
Wow.
Rant. Wow. I would say that I don't know if that rant could happen in that way without the context of 2022 behind it.
For sure.
And when you inevitably are convinced to watch all of the White Lotus, you're going to absolutely lose it when you think about this moment and think about what the trainer does in season 2.
Yeah. The second you said that, I was like, you should.
I was like, that's a twist. It's art.
I do have
I
a
would
follow-up to my rant real quick. I do have to shout out Love and Friendship and Other Early Works. It includes a history of England, which is really interesting, a collection of letters, a bunch of other epistolary things. This is a great Jane Austen. Again, maybe not your second, but read whatever sounds fun to you. Jane Austen might be a little intimidating, but I love to talk about it. Let me talk about Jane Austen. Tell me when you're reading it.
Love it. Love it. I'm also going to finish my rant by letting you know what else was added to the list during the show of ideas that could fully serve as rebrands. One is have fun, break legs. I think that came up during the pre-show as an appendage or as a subsection of we have enough broken appendages.
It was a text from Alexis that Liz replied to and saying, what if we rebranded the show to Have Fun, Break Legs?
Have fun, break legs.
Yeah.
At least it's catchy. You could do some good visuals with legs, maybe. I don't know. And then during the show tonight, we pitched on the cliff, on a plane, on the edge, and at the end of the rope. That feels like a breakdown series, so maybe we'll park that.
That is not what I actually said, but I'm very thankful for whoever rebranded me as
PR major. I got you. Thanks. You were the one on a plane. You were the one on a plane. Yeah.
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 It goes well with your dream about planes. Although I think Liz was also on the plane in the dream.
Yeah, Liz was. When Liz said that the morning show was an option, Liz may be the only one that knows this, but I have had several detailed dreams in which Liz hosts Lights Up with Liz and Late Night with Liz on a made-up Canadian news network that I made up in my sleep.
She's ready to pitch. She's ready to pitch.
I'm ready to pitch it. CBC, Global, CTV, come at me. Let's make it happen. We'll have to talk about that dream. I'm also imagining that you think I host Late Night with Liz and then stay up and then do. It's like, and then I just sleep in the day and I do 2 shows back to back. I think that's fun.
But I hard made up a channel. Like I was like, Canada's like C11. Like I can't.
Love it.
I wrote it down somewhere, but I just made up like in the dream. It's just like,
The last rebrand idea that came up during this show was people traumatized by the Polar Express, which Alexis, if you missed that, just everyone rewatch the beginning of the episode and you'll get back to it. That's a common thread for most people that watch Will Throw the After Party.
It's an incredibly traumatizing film.
I'm sorry. It means a lot to me only, apparently.
I will not rewatch it to this day.
But Marissa, it can mean a lot to you and you can be traumatized by it.
Okay.
Did you form a trauma bond with that movie?
Did you form a trauma bond with the Polar Express?
Maybe.
One of my favorite holiday movies is the animated Rudolph, and I cry my way through that every year.
Are you talking about the one? They've got the song "Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time" in it. That animated Rudolph.
This is the one with, I don't know why I did the nose, like that would clear it up for you. This is the one with Clarice and the
claymation.
Yeah. Oh, no. There's one that has fairies.
No, that's the 2D animation one. No. Alexis is talking about the claymation one.
The 1964 one. No, what's the one I'm talking about? Oh, it's Sylvan's pick. Rudolph, what's the one with the fairies? Yeah. These girls slayed. Look at them go. Wait, I gotta share my screen. Hold on. This is important to me.
I don't know what you were talking about. What?
Is this a Canadian movie? Like
1998 Rudolph movie.
Oh my God. Does nobody know that? Is this a Canadian movie? No, it's not.
That's the
Rudolph the movie.
Wow.
It's a musical, people. Add this to your please. I'm begging. It's got
Musical.
It's a musical.
Musical.
It's got a sneaky little fox. It's got a love story. It's got bullying that could be bullying or just reindeers in the closet. It's got fairies that sing and northern lights. It's got this polar bear that ends up being a friend.
Yeah,
That's
but
what Liz is doing for
all
her
right.
next host
the
takeover.
Claymation one has the Island of Misfit Toys, so I will stick with that
With the
one.
dentist.
Oh, you gotta give it a shot for me. You gotta promise me. You gotta promise me.
I will say your fairy friends look like my favorite characters from the Beauty and the Beast special.
Uh-huh.
Enchanted Christmas with Belle?
No, the Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, the 30th anniversary.
Yeah, the 30th anniversary.
And
Didn't even talk about Enchanted Stories with Belle. Wow.
That's my favorite. I'm
All right.
bolted to the wall.
Yeah,
That's
you
a
got
good
it.
one.
You got
That one starts scary too. The
It does.
furnace.
Yeah, and the little like piccolo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so my post-holiday takeover pick, as decided by the viewers, is making everybody watch this fucking Rudolph movie. So I gotta figure out where to watch it, and I will send it to everybody. And that means you too. That means everybody watching has to watch it too. So we're all gonna watch these projects together and talk about them. How's that sound? Okay. Let's talk about what we're looking forward to in 2023 besides watching the 1998 Rudolph Christmas special. I've got a long list that I'm just going to go through really quickly. But first, you can find me all over the internet at Producer Liz. And this week, I'm going to the second happiest place on Earth, because everyone would argue and tell me Disneyland's better. But you know what? I'm not going to Disneyland, nor have I ever been. I only have one Disney to go off of, and it's Disney World. So we're going. And it's going to be fun. And it's going to be all over my socials. And I can't wait.
Not to be that person, but Disneyland is the happiest place on earth. Walt Disney World is the most magical place on earth.
See, I knew. I literally started by saying I knew it was going to be corrected. So if you want to see someone take on Disney as a novice, you can follow me everywhere.
I'm so excited for you.
It's going to be special. It's going to be great. It's going to rain 50 millimeters the day before we go to the parks. We had to change our tickets. It's going to be great. But also, we're heading into award season. So I just want to rhyme off some of the big movies that I think, well, that we know are coming in 2023. But I'm looking at these movies. They are like at the top of my list of PR to watch next year. So I'm just going to go quick.
That's one of those is a choice.
Barbie. It's going to be the biggest PR campaign of the year. And I say
That's
PR and not marketing because they do not need to market this movie. They need to PR the shit out of this movie. So we're talking big media. We're talking really interesting actors doing really interesting pairings and saying really weird shit about their filming process. And the marketing is also going to be spectacular. Dune 2 is going to be one of the biggest box office releases of next year. We already know that based on the casting. Press tour is going to be incredible. Wonka, that's Timothée Chalamet. That's my heart. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. You're going to see millennials going back to the theater. This is going to be huge for movies that are marketed to kids and adults show up to. John Wick does a really great job always in their marketing and does really well. So I'm excited to see that happen. Megan has already had a killer campaign. It's just going to keep riding out. I'm so excited to see what they do with influencers for that one. Oppenheimer, has to fight because it's up against Barbie. It's already fighting. It's an uphill battle for that one. And it's going to split moviegoers in two halves. So I think where Barbie is going to go all the way PR, Oppenheimer is going to go all the way marketing. So that'll be an interesting watch. You have a good person, Florence Pugh. I'm excited to compare her between Oppenheimer and that film, which she has so much heart in. The Teen Wolf movie is going to blow up the goddamn internet. I'm so excited to see what happens with everything they have to answer for with this. Like, this is going to be an accusatory press tour of why they made the choices they made. Little Mermaid is going to be one of the biggest moments of the year, and I think it's hopefully going to be a beautiful one. You have so much Marvel coming next year. They got to slow it down because we're tired. And I hope that does not overshadow Spider-Man Across the Multiverse.
Spider-Verse.
Thank you. Spider-Verse Across the Multiverse, which is my...
No!
Is that not what it's called? What is it called?
Across
Spider-Man
the Spider-Verse.
Oh my God. Okay.
I was trying to save you.
No, I know. My brain is so tired. Okay. It's my most anticipated movie of the year, even if I don't know what it's called. Marissa, what are you looking forward to next year?
A few repeats from you. Definitely Barbie, top of the list. Losing my mind every day with each new piece of information we're given. Secret Invasion is like my top Marvel project for the next year. I'm so excited for that. I have been so excited for that like since Captain Marvel. Into the Woods on tour. Hopefully I will be opening tickets on Christmas Day. Merrily We Roll Along is moving from the New York Theater Workshop to Broadway with Jonathan Groff, Lindsay Mendez, and Daniel Radcliffe.
Beautiful.
It's coming fall 2023. I probably won't get to see it, but at least more people will because it's been selling out like hotcakes. Hopefully we're going to get some new Olivia Rodrigo music. Be excited for that. That's been teased a little bit. And the Eras Tour. Excited to see if that is ever resolved in a way in which people are satisfied. Or if we just go to the concert. We'll see. That's 2023.
Sly?
I sorted mine in categories. So for video games, I know none of you all care, but in case you do, I'm excited for Planet of Lana, probably my number one. I did get hands-on with this at PAX, very exciting. Jedi Survivor, very interested to see where they go after Fallen Order. Spider-Man 2, oh my god, I cannot wait for this game. Miles Morales was like my favorite game last year. Loved Spider-Man 1, loved Miles Morales, cannot wait for more content in that world. And then also Venba was on my list. I'm sure there's a ton of more indies coming out next year that are on my wish list, but those are the ones I saw on the Game Informer list. Shout out to Hades 2 for JJ. I'm not a big roguelike person, so I haven't played Hades. I know God mode, blah, 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 blah. I'll get to it eventually. Shows, as previously mentioned, as mentioned by me every time I open my mouth, Young Royals Season 3. Very exciting. I can't wait. I'm going to sob my eyes out. It'll be glorious. Movies. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Liz. Also one of my highlights. And Marvels. I'm really excited. I hope it's good. Books. Give Me a Sign, which is written by a deaf author. It's about a deaf camp with a late ASL learner. Very excited. I'm sure it's going to emotionally devastate me. And also Tim Tomorrow and the Subterranean Heartsick Blues. Read a description of this because I can't remember off the top of my head, but every time I read that description, I'm like, damn, that sounds so good. I can't wait for it to come out. Those are my lists.
And Alexis, sorry, I was trying to click unmute and it was not unmuting. Alexis?
I started a list and I'm seeing now that I didn't finish it. So instead, you're just going to get a list of documentaries that are coming out that I'm excited about. One is the expected Bernie Madoff docuseries. I think it's on Netflix. I haven't listed a date yet, but sometime next year. The anticipated documentary about the bitches that stole the Koenig, which I mentioned in a previous rant. They haven't set a date for it, and it doesn't have a title, but it's supposed to be coming next year. No Straight Lines, which is actually airing on PBS in January, and it's just about acceptance and LGBTQ IA plus culture and underground queer comic book artists. I'm really excited about it. And I think that was it. I think that's all I had, right? Yep.
Beautifully done, my friend. Beautifully done, everybody. And do y'all want to plug where people can find you on the internet and what you're talking about over the next few weeks?
Oh, you just let us go. I'm Marissa. You can find me everywhere on the internet at Miss Abobissa. On TikTok, hopefully I'll be doing like a year wrapped for the hair in the MCU. Year is up to me, and it's just like what I feel like happened in the last year. It could have been 18 months ago. It could have been 2 weeks ago. We'll find out. Haven't made it yet. I'll also probably be screaming about how we need a Beauty and the Beast revival on Broadway. And hyping all of Liz's Disney trip business because I love a Disney park.
We got one day. We have a one-day ticket with Park Hopper and a whole crew of people that haven't been either in their lifetime or in 12 years. And we're starting in Hollywood Studios. So chaos.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah. We'll talk. That's perfect.
Great. Can't wait. Sly?
You can find me everywhere on the internet at Cyclone MC. You can also find me over on Point in Progress. Go check out our Game of the Year. The Game Awards live reaction episode. It was iconic. So much fun. And what I'll be working on over the next couple weeks is hopefully making TikTok videos again. I haven't posted basically all year. I have 2 series that I really want to nail down and make happen. So one of them will be about books and one of them will be about music. And that's what I'll tease.
So exciting. And Alexis?
I'm at Just Alexis Lake on Instagram and TikTok. And really, I just vibe and post what I feel like. So you are welcome to join me for that ride. But it's just me talking about whatever. But I hope to see you there.
And we love that. And Sassy and Tommy Blake.
Yes. They have their own Instagram accounts. They sometimes make appearances on my stuff.
It's a very important subnote of the Alexis world. Yeah. And with that, happy holidays, happy end of 2022, happy start of 2023, happy whatever you want to be happy about, happy TikTok, happy end of year specials, happy watching Anderson Cooper get drunk on TV at the last day of the year with Andy Cohen.
They're not allowed to drink this year.
They're not allowed?
They're not allowed to drink.
Oh, no.
Because they got too crazy last year.
We'll see.
Happy Miley and Dolly New Year's Eve party.
Here's a prediction. Is that really happening? Or is it a PR tactic? Because their ratings were so high last year that they're saying that like they're not going to drink and then they're going to announce at the last minute that they can drink to get people to come watch again. Something to think about.
I don't know.
And for more astute PR thoughts like that, find me on the internet. All right. Happy holidays, everyone. We will see you next year, throwing more after parties. Oh my God, my mouse won't let me literally click on anything. We'll see you next year, throwing more after parties where you always have a seat. So get ready to like come back and hang out with us and bring your friends. We've got a lot more in store. Bye, everyone.
Bye.